Are we putting Leech and Parkinson in the T20 team, or are we talking about Test?
Well,
Because I think very different.
Leech has never had a look in for England in the white ball stuff. Arlo Rashid is England's key white ball spinner, and Matt Parkinson, I don't think he'll play every game.
So for me, quoting T20 stats for Parkinson is especially because leg spinners, back of the hand bowlers do have typically pretty economical stats in T20s. I don't think.
Welcome back.
Sorry, I didn't get the cue there, Wes. It was one of those things where I needed to be watching closely. Thanks very much, Al. David Brooke, welcome you back to Guerrilla Cricket with Al and Wes.
Final session
of the day.
2 hours of it.
Well, hopefully, maybe even a little bit more of the over 8. And you join us as it's really been New Zealand's day. They're on 316 for 5 in response to England's 353, and it's down, well, largely to these two at the crease now. That's Colin de Grandhomme on 65 and B.J. Watling on 79. It's de Grandhomme who faces the first ball after tea. That's bowled by Stokes, and he's gone up. He's gone first ball. It's taken by looks Sibley. Like Sibley in the gully, and Stokes has got a wicket with the very first ball after tea. It's Colin de Grandhomme has gone for 65. That's enough to wake anyone up from their slumbers. First ball after tea. Thank God we got here in time, and thank God Al said welcome back just then.
What a catch! What a catch! De Grandhomme's played that ball down. He's tried to cut it down towards a gully area, and Sibley has dived to his right, stuck a hand out just above the ground level, and it has stuck.
Well, indeed, it's remarkable.
What a catch!
What did you think of that one, Wes?
That's just incredible, really. I mean, that's just woke me up a little bit.
The genuine look of surprise.
Classy catch there from Sibley, who's really shown that. Well, what an introduction to him to. He's playing in his first Test match to pull off a catch like that. We were talking about opening batsmen from New Zealand who couldn't field. What's it? Ravel was a poor fielder, but that's an outstanding piece of fielding there from the England opening batsman. So that might change the dimension again. Are we going to get another twist and turn in the story of this Test match? We heard earlier that New Zealand's odds had plummeted from 7-1 to even money favourites, and England had gone out to 9-2. Are we going to see England turning into favourites again if they can make another inroads into New Zealand? 316 for 6, and we have a new batsman.
We do.
I bet you hold out, you better not drive, you better not sweep, I'm telling you why. Santa's balls are drifting around, Santa's balls are drifting around.
When it's Mitchell Santana with the bat rather than the ball, he's coming out to join B.J. Watling, who remains there on 79. So the man better known for his spin bowling. He averages 24, which is, I guess, not too shabby. But is it fair to say we're into the tail, Wes? Would you say that or not?
I wouldn't say not quite just yet.
No.
I think Santana is quite capable enough with the bat.
Here's his first ball from Stokes. Oh, that's misdirected down the leg side, and some nifty bit of work by Butler to stop that one. So the wicket that fell, it was a short ball from Stokes. It was off the middle of the bat as well, and sometimes they just stick, and that went like a rocket to Sibley. And as Al described it, he put a right hand out and it's fully stretched, and well, Stokes, with a mixture of delight and incredulity, Colin de Grandhomme couldn't believe it, and neither could Sibley by the looks of it, and he's pulled off a remarkable catch. Here's the next ball. That's a much better directed ball. It was short, and Santana pulls his bat inside it without any great conviction, and so Ben Stokes hardly been over bowled. He's used very sparingly these days as a bowler. He's only on his 9th over in this innings, so England could be seeing a little burst, little spurt from Ben Stokes.
Just a little bit, you would think. Probably not too long after tea. Maybe, as he's usually done, 3 or 4 overs or so. And then if maybe they get another wicket here, I think they'll do quite well to do that. Maybe bring Archer and Broad back on.
Indeed, well, they've got an end to bowl at now, having dislodged that partnership. I mean, let's look at Santana's Test match record. Mitch Santana, primarily in the team as a spinner in Test matches. He averages, I say, 24 with a high score of 73. Just 2 half centuries to his name. And let's have a look at his first class record. And I'll come back to that in a moment, as he takes strike now from Stokes, who's looking for his 3rd wicket. And that's a short ball down the leg side. Really takes off, but Santana doesn't get involved in that. Okay, Santana averages 29 in first class cricket.
It's been classed as a wide.
Oh, thank you very much, Alex.
2 for the over.
So high that it was a wide on height. Is that right?
Yeah, it's second ball, second bounce for the over.
I know where you're coming from on that, Al.
That's about a foot over Santana's
Foot
head.
over, yeah. So if you bowl 2 like that, the second one gets pulled away. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, here's Stokes again. That one's short, but this time it's well directed at Santana, who defends, and there's no run. So, yeah, Santana averaging in first class cricket just under 30 with 12 50s and 200. So, yeah, I guess you'd put him kind of in the bowling all-rounder, would you say?
I would
all-rounder?
definitely say so, yeah. But I don't think his bowling record in Test or first class cricket is that great.
Here's Stokes, plays that one down, Santana to short leg, and there's no run. Let's take a look at his bowling record. And I say, you're right, absolutely right there, Wes. Averages 43 in first class cricket with the ball. That's very unusual, isn't it?
39 in Test.
Wow, that's unusual, isn't it, for someone to...
Then I think he is primarily a white ball bowler.
A white ball bowler.
They've had Ayaz Patel and Will Somerville
Yeah.
as their main spinners.
Stokes bowls. That's well pitched up. It's going to get Santana off the mark. He pushes that out to mid-off to Jofra Archer, and he takes his ball single off the last ball there. So he's going to keep the strike. The end of the first over after tea, which has seen the wicket of Colin de Grandhomme caught Sibley remarkably, bowl Stokes for 65. Not that it's remarkable that Sibley should take a catch, but it was Sibley's catch that was remarkable. Al.
We've got a tweet from the Jersey Jingler. You're welcome, England. I have just literally tuned in as this delivery was bowled, so I am the lucky charm cricket god or something. No better feeling.
No.
Sit down.
Better.
Especially after what we've seen for the first 2 sessions of nothing doing.
Well, speak for yourself. I'm a
What a
DJ
catch.
Watling fan. It's been... What a day. I might even call him BJ.
Beach.
BJ. So Stokes, 9 overs, 2 for 29. Yeah, great timing there from... Who was it who's just joined us? It was...
The Jersey Jingler.
the Jersey Jingler, yeah. And very good timing. You turn on the radio. First ball after tea, that was. If you'd turned on any earlier, you'd have heard a pre-recorded item from our latest Guerrilla Cricket podcast with Nakul M. Pandey. But you just missed that, and you just caught us with the first ball back after tea. And if the second session of the day and the first session was very much New Zealand's, England will be looking to see if they can get back into this match now. Roots turned back to Jack Leach, who had a spell before tea. He's going to continue now. Ollie Poper's gone to get the helmet, and he'll be taking his place as the junior mug in the short leg position, the place that Ian Bell used to occupy for many years.
And James Taylor briefly as well.
And James Taylor, yeah, indeed. He made it his own, didn't he?
Absolutely, yeah.
And there's someone else who's been doing that for Australia that had a remarkable record. It was Cameron Bancroft.
Yes, it was, yeah.
Didn't he do well during the Ashes?
Brilliant
But it wasn't quite enough to keep him in the team.
Not quite enough.
Although with his track record, roughs up well. Those things don't just go away. Here's Leach now, new over, and that beats Santana. It turns back into him, the left-hander, and it also beats Butler. So there's a chase on down to deep fine leg. It's Stokes who's in the action again, who does the fielding, and there's 2 byes. So not only did Santana not read that, but Butler didn't either. It beat the pair of them, and it was like delayed reaction from Jos Butler. I haven't really studied Jos Butler's keeping in any great detail. What's he like to the spinners?
I would probably say he's better than Bairstow, I think.
Okay.
But then I suppose with Butler, Chapter after this.
Yeah, Matcon turning into Santana.
Then Butler's keeps, of course, in the limited over stuff, whereas Leech is primarily a test player. So Butler
won't have kept much. On the other hand, didn't when Leech took that first Test match wicket, didn't he run around saying caught Butler bowled Leech, because that was the sort of Somerset combination that he dreams of.
That's true, yeah.
So that's played out defensively by Santana. In a way, obviously bowling slow left arm orthodox, turning it into the left-hander. It was always going to be the way that it was going to turn. So it's odd that should have beaten Butler. Was it the fact that it spun so much? Yeah. Here's Leech again, gives that one some air. Santana comes down the wicket like a white ball player and sort of smotes it across the line. It's all on the ground to mid-on, but I would have thought England would be encouraged by that shot, because it was the shot of a white ball player, Wed.
Absolutely, only a second over after tea as well.
Is Leech giving it again a little bit flatter this time outside the off stump. That one didn't turn, and Santana's not drawn into the shot. I wonder if he's got the patience to play a Test match innings here, Santana, because he's going to be asked to stick around. I don't think captain will thank him if he gets out quickly here, because this is a key part of the match. And Joss Butler, picture of concentration. He doesn't want to make the same mistake again. Leech gives it one air. Again, Santana's down the wicket. And was that aerial or was it along the ground?
I would say it's along the ground.
I think it was all along the ground.
I'm going to put my glasses on.
I think
I'm going to have to keep asking you.
So,
it's not a fashion. It's not a fashion show, as someone once said to me.
I think Santana's got to realise here he's got a partner on 79.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, your job here is to help your partner along here.
But do you think that he only plays in one way, as Wes is saying, Al? He's largely white ball player. Do you think he just backs in this start?
There does tend to be a tendency with a lot of cricketers these days, I think, to not really consider the situation when it comes to how you want to attack. So the idea of coming in at 320 for 6 would be almost the same as if you were coming and you were 80 for 6. It's just like, I know how I bat, I know where I score, and I will play my way.
Yeah, New Zealand need Santana to stick around, because they're 33 runs behind, and there's an opportunity to build a lead, and they won't want to miss this opportunity to let England back into the game and for it all to be square. So I'm interested to see how Watling, whether there's any increase in tempo from him as Stokes bowls. He ducks underneath it, as he has done consistently to the short ball. He's never taken it on, and why should he?
Well, at this stage,
stage.
I was going to say, at this stage, Watling's set. He
knows his game.
New Zealand will go really as far as Watling will take them in this innings. Hence why Santana's supporting role becomes so important. Now, from what that graphic said,
Stokes bowls, and that's pushed out by Watling. And just for a single, Sibley, the hero of the last over, does before that does the yes, we're looking at a graphic about the first century maker at each Test match ground, Alan.
And it would appear that there has not been a century made at this ground.
It's the Bay Oval.
Probably because this is this ground's first Test match.
Indeed.
120th Test venue.
So do you think that stat will be uppermost in BJ Watling's mind?
I don't know. I mean,
doubt it.
I would doubt it at 80.
I mean, he must. Do you think he's thinking about Ted Bowley, who scored that 109 for England in 1929 at Eden Park?
Eden Park.
Do you think he's thinking about the great Everton Weeks, who scored that 123 at Carisbrooke? Or do you think he's thinking of Matthew Bell, who scored that 107 at University Oval? Or Brendan McCullum, who scored the 195 at the Hagley Oval?
I think any history is good history to make. And if you can turn around and go, I was the first person to make a Test century at a ground, I think I probably wouldn't affect. I mean, of all the people it wouldn't affect the play of, it would be BJ Watling.
80 he's moved on to. As Santana, though, has taken strike now to Stokes. Did I just miss a single then?
No, it was the single that Watling took, which you described.
Oh, I already described it.
Thank
you. Yeah, thank you. Selective recall there. Short-term memory loss is one of those things that, Wes, you'll learn to live with that as you get older. Yeah. It's not related to what you've imbibed or any previous life. It's just a fact of life.
The North Stand gang talks about spectacled left arm orthodox spinner bowling to spectacled arm orthodox spinner who's batting. Yeah.
Should have gone to Specsavers.
Indeed.
And that one is short, and it's actually turned Santana around a little bit. And he rehearses the shot that, well, I think he tried to play that the first time round. Watling gives him some encouragement, and no doubt he'll be a wise word in Santana's ear, telling him just to, basically as Bear would say, calm the down.
Absolutely. Your discussion about short legs has prompted a tweet, which I'll talk about in just after this ball.
Here's Stokes, and that's played down by Santana, no run.
Neil Franklin has said that David Lloyd always fielded at short leg, if he remembers correctly.
Oh, Bumble.
Yep.
Yeah, so in other words, Bumble would have made it his own specialist position, notwithstanding his seniority or junior aspect. So he'd have been in their whole career, you mean?
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Neil Franklin is tending to think that David Lloyd fielded there mainly based on height or lack of it.
Here's Stokes again. Oh, and that's right dug into Santana. He didn't like it up in there and fended it away without really not really looking at the ball. Took his eye off the ball. And that's the end of that over with the score at 321 for 6. So New Zealand are just 32 runs behind England. Mitchell Santana's on 1 and BJ Watling is on 80.
It seems fascinating, doesn't it, that with one wicket, all of a sudden the ball's going through the air a little bit quicker, the pitch seems a little bit more sprightly, and all of a sudden the game looks an awful lot more difficult for everybody concerned.
Absolutely. I think another wicket here could maybe see things wrap up quite quickly, because I don't think New Zealand have got the strongest tail end. Southey can hit a ball quite hard, but he can't really stick around a lot. Nor can Trent Bolt.
No,
really.
Indeed. Trent Bolt is poor with the bat, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He's one of those. He's not as bad as that guy. Was it Chris Martin? New Zealander.
The lowest average of all time.
Yeah.
About 2.
It would be interesting, Wes, if you can, if you've got access, or Al could have a quick look to see what the stats are on the New Zealand 9-10 Jack, just to see how low they average, and then we can work out what they're likely to score. Because it's unlikely to see Watling accelerating, isn't it? But we'll see. We'll see what he does now. He's got the chance against Leech. Is he going to change his style? I think it's unlikely. Plays this one circumspectly back to Leech, who does his own fielding, and there's no run.
Abhishek Chopra would like to know if seniority is a legitimate word. Why is juniority?
I think I did say juniority, did I?
Yes. He would like to know why juniority is not a legal word.
Yeah. Did I almost attempted to say that one, Abhishek? But, it should be in the dictionary. Let's put it in there. And the helicopter shot there from Watling, a sort of roll of the wrist. It's on the offside, not like Dhoni's helicopter shot, but he sort of rolled his wrists over it, Pella style, and gets a single. In
the same way that if you can be overwhelmed, then surely you can just be whelmed.
How interesting.
Or indeed underwhelmed.
Yeah, you can be overwhelmed and underwhelmed, but can you ever just be whelmed?
Whelmed.
Well, I always think one of the most interesting things to look at, if you're a word nerd, is the new words in the dictionary every year. It does tell you a story about the year, doesn't it? And I'm desperately thinking what they were. I did look at this list recently, and I'm afraid this anecdote is going to sort of rather peter out, so I can't remember them. Here's Leech bowls. That's unconvincing from Santana as well. He just poked at that ball, didn't know whether it was going to turn in or stay on. It's odd that he's a purveyor of the same craft as Leech, but he seems unable to read him.
It is a dramatically different style of shot, considering what we've seen from Watling all the way through the day.
Yeah, you'd think a slow left arm would be able to play another slow left arm. Well, he does that, plays that one quite comfortably, finds the gap between cover and extra cover, and they settle on a single. An acrobatic piece of fielding there by Zach Crawley, who is on, we think, for Rory Burns, who went off after attempting to catch a ball from Colin de Grandhomme before Sibley showed him how to do it by pulling off an amazing catch. So Crawley's on for Rory Burns, who dropped a catch earlier. It was a hard one, but no harder than the one that Sibley took. So yeah, specialist short legs, that's an interesting one too. Wes is looking for the figures on 9-10 Jack. And Twitter artists, wherever you are, can you tweet us to say that you're alive and listening to us? We'd like to know where you are in the world. Unlikely to be in the UK at this hour, but you might be in Brisbane, or you might be in Vancouver, or wherever. Let us know where you are. Even if you've got nothing to say, just say hi from Vancouver. Here's Leech again to Watling, who plays that defensive shot that he enjoys so much, where he gets his front leg right down and gets round to smothering the ball in a really committed defensive shot.
Just with the way that Watling sets up for Leech, I just want to observe it again one more time.
Leech bowls to him and tries to tickle that way, no run.
It strikes me that with the way that Watling sets out with a slightly open stance, the way that Leech continues to come over the wicket, it's very reminiscent of that kind of Ashley Giles versus Tendulkar type of line of there's no way that Leech can get him out. Because unless the ball's going to absolutely dramatically spin right the way across him, he can't be out LBW. So surely the onus must be on Leech to turn around and to go, well, I'll go around the wicket, and at least that way I'll bring the LBW into play by bringing him forward. But with the way he's coming from over the wicket, Watling can pretty safely just play him out unless he chooses to do something stupid.
Good point, Al. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
think
Wes.
that's. Yeah, I think England perhaps still just trying to prey on a patience, really.
Yeah.
I think they do have the short leg in.
Here's those stats I was asking you for, Wes.
They've already got them.
Southey averages 18 next in. After that, Wagner averaging 12. And Bolt didn't quite catch that one.
Just under 15.
Just under. Oh, as much as that. And that's next ball from Santana's played down. Just having a look at Tim Southey there, padded up on the balcony. Looks like he's having trouble staying awake. It looks like he's just woken up from a deep sleep. That was nearly a catch to short leg, actually, that one from Santana. He played it down to the leg side, and dare I say it, a taller man with longer arms might have caught that. That's the problem with putting a short guy in at short leg. You want a guy with really long arms in at a short leg. Stokes bowls. That's a very quick one, and Santana took his eyes off it again. Doesn't like that, and it whistled past his head. And Santana doesn't take his unlike some people, unlike one of our England heroes, he doesn't remove the glasses, but that would have steamed them up, wouldn't it?
I think he's got a little piece of string like an old librarian.
Yeah.
So
he's got the glasses on. He gives a little smile as if to say, "You're too good for me." Let's see how long he lasts. Stokes is scenting blood here. A man who so often rises to the occasion. He comes into bowl, and that's played out to leg side by Santana. Again, not with any great confidence, but cometh the hour, cometh Ben Stokes. He's done it again. First ball after tea, getting the breakthrough. He's not going to be content with that. He's going to try and get another wicket for his team.
Santana does appear to be more interested in self-preservation. He doesn't really care where the ball goes, so long as the ball doesn't hit him.
Is he a member of the Self-Preservation Society?
I think he definitely is. I think short legs in play. I think you could put a leg slip in here as well.
That's a high bouncer from Stokes. This time Butler reaches up and does catch onto it, but it's signalled a wide, as is the want these days. And so Stokes is going to have to bowl that one again. It was too high and banged in really short. Pope, for some reason, at short leg, applauding the wide, or no, applauding Butler's take, which stops it from being 4 wides, or is it 5 wides?
5 wide, yeah. Ollie Pope, fellow keeper, of course.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes keeps for Surrey.
Yes. Is he next in line?
It's always nice to have at least 2 cricket wicket-keeping controversies going on at any side.
Yeah, you need at least 3 wicket-keepers in every side.
Yeah.
Here's Stokes. This one's short, and Santana takes his eyes off it. It strikes a blow. Now, if I was Joe Root, I would be itching to throw the ball to Jofra Archer. What is the point of holding him back? Let's get Archer on against Santana. He's not enjoying this. He's not looking at the ball. He's a human punch bag.
Wouldn't you though, as a captain? Wouldn't it be you just trying to telepathically say to Ben Stokes, Yorker.
And that's back foot. Santana sort of, I'm not quite sure how we'd describe that shot, Wes. Flails at it.
Yeah, flails off the back foot.
Yeah, he flails off the back foot and then goes for a little wander around. Yeah, I think Will Stokes, whether you'll need Joe Root in his ear to tell him to bowl the Yorker.
No, but it's just like he softened him up. He softened him up, and at this point in time, the only place that Santana doesn't want to be is in the middle.
Well, I certainly would attack him a bit more. They're still quite defensive. Here's Stokes bowls to him, and that's played down by Santana. Yep, they'll take the single, which keeps him on strike for the next over. So, terrific over there from Stokes. He had Santana in all sorts of trouble. Santana lives to fight another day. He's on 3. Watling's on 81, and New Zealand 325 for 6.
I have a couple of tweets to catch up with. Abhishek Chopra. No Brookster, don't you put down Trent Bolt's batting Flamingo back defence. Mark says, don't make me get my word nerd linguistics degree out, you bastards.
Oh, please do.
To which Jeff Birkin says, do it, cunningly.
Yeah.
Evil Scooters, Southie's rubbish with the bat. That's why there was this stat making the rounds yesterday showing that he has a higher test average than Joe Root over some reasonable period of time. Ravi Nair, I am alive and listening to you, or as Facebook would say, marked man safe from having to watch Australia versus Pakistan. Testy Test, hi from Copenhagen, soothing insomnia with gorillas in my ears. John Howell, hi from Charlotte, North Carolina, one night only. Reside in Myrtle Beach. P.S. What's the score? We'll go through the score in just a second.
Leech to Santana, who's much more comfortable against Leech, but still can't read him. He's forward defensive. There's no run.
Spicy Golden Duck, still listening here at Maunganui. We're back at the ground now, beers in hand. Thanks for the indefeatable commentary.
Well, it's lovely to hear from so many listeners in different parts of the world, and particularly nice to hear from Ravi. Hello again, Ravi. Been, as they say, away for a while, but nice to hear you and Abhishek and all the other regulars and all the new listeners to Guerrilla Cricket, which I've been enjoying as a listener for the last few months whilst being in a form of purdah of my own. Here's Leech, and he bowls, and this time Santana's defensive. I would be thinking, Wes, of throwing the ball to Jofra Archer.
That's what I was thinking, because Santana took the single off the last ball.
Yeah,
the last
should have
over.
been.
He was
Now, that's what you were talking about, Al, about
Would
Joe
they have
Root's
brought
captaincy.
Jofra back on?
You could have had Santana this over, really, because he really doesn't like the quicker stuff. I mean, Leech has beaten him a couple of times, but doesn't beat him there as Santana goes forward defensive. So we mustn't knock Tim Southey's batting. We mustn't knock Trent Bolt's batting. But can we have a go at Wagner's batting? Is anyone going to defend him?
I haven't seen much.
Any of the New
Wagner's
Zealand
batting.
apologists going to put up a case for Wagner as one of the greatest number 10s of all time? And Santana studiously plays that one in the style of a batsman, as if he wants to say to people, look, I can bat. And just on the back foot, studious backward defensive shot. Leech looking like he might be his last ball if he doesn't do any damage here. He bowls to Santana, and Santana pushes forward, almost an inside edge, but it's a maiden over without too much trouble. Santana negotiates that. He remains on 3, and BJ Watling is on 81.
Okay, Abhishek Chopra. Tony Gregg also made that spot his own, didn't he, in terms of short leg?
Yes.
Certainly did. Also, Abhishek Chopra says long arms would mean long legs too, right? So short leg would be called long leg, but then long leg would be called short leg because short legs let you run faster and cover more ground. Brilliant from Brookster as always.
Who's that?
That's Abhishek.
Oh, thanks, Abhishek.
The Jersey Jingler is saying hello from Garden State, New Jersey.
Jingler.
Yeah, absolutely. Abhishek Chopra, I think, with regards to either Southey or Wagner, only hits a huge number of 6s.
Well, that would do New Zealand well. A few 6s here. They're trailed by 28, so 5 6s would take them into the lead in what is turning out to be nip and tuck.
Well, the Jersey Jingler says, is the pitch slowly strangling this game, or are we both just where both teams are a bit bleh?
Well, it didn't stop Colin de Granholm from scoring at a decent clip. So here's Stokes going round the wicket now to Watling. And if you like, what's strangling the game for me is a failure to take the failure for the captaincy to take advantage of a situation and go in for the kill. When you've just got a wicket, and that first wicket after tea, and you've got Santana in such obvious difficulty against the quicker bowlers, then surely that's the point. To avoid the game going into another lull and get another wicket, and you have to make that happen, don't you, Al?
Well, I think so. I mean, This is Stokes' 12th over. If the plan remains as it has done,
He's round the wicket here to Watling, who's defensive.
I think this is Stokes' last over.
So we might see
he's
Archer
bowled,
instead of
yeah,
Stokes.
I think he's been bowling in he's bowled 4 overs, and this is his 4th over in this 3rd spell of the day.
Wes, can we put you on as the junior reporter here at this stage of your career? Could we put you on to Jofra Archer warming up watch? And if you see any sign of him stretching or anyone else. Here's Stokes, he's round the wicket. Oh, that's wide. And Butler has to leap into action, stop that ball from going down the leg side. So, yeah, very good day to all of you who've been kind enough to tweet in fantastic a lot of locations there, and great to hear that the Guerrilla cricket crowd is up and about wherever you are at this time of the day, night, afternoon or morning. Ravi, whereabouts are you at the moment? You must be in possibly in India? I'm not quite sure. And here's Stokes round the wicket to Watling. He really would prefer to be bowling to Santana, but Watling looks like he's going to try and play out this over. Crowd enjoying it on the bank. Wouldn't you like to be in New Zealand now? But the next best place to be is here in Sydenham, enjoying the Bears' hospitality. He's just cracked open a 4-pack.
He has,
which we're yet to share in.
There is no quit in that man, is there?
No quarter given, no quarter taken. Broad is looking like he wants to have a bowl. Again, defensively by Watling. There's no way through that defence, and you almost feel that Stokes feels like he's expending energy to no account bowling to Watling. He'd rather be bowling to Santana. And Wes, have you spotted anything from Archer?
Not really, but I think the way that the cameras are focusing on him, I think they want him to have a bowl as well. It's not
everyone
just
except
us.
Joe Root.
Everyone wants Archer to have a go at Santana.
You've got Mitchell Santana in, not looking at all comfortable against the quick stuff. And why didn't he bring on a quicker bowler in the last over? Here's Stokes round the wicket to Watling. Again, it's defensive, and there's no way through. That's the end of the over.
That is
maiden over from Stokes. Watling's on 81. Santana is on 3. I'm going to move into the tweet chair or the jingle chair, and it's going to be on ball by ball. Ralph coming back in on ball by ball, and in the meantime, Al, can you say a few words while we do this link?
Absolutely. I think that's been fabulous batting from Watling in the last over. Stokes had Santana in all sorts of trouble. Watling completely took over, just turned round, didn't bother to look for singles, just killed the game for that 1 over and protected his junior partner. What a wicket that you missed, sir.
Well,
a wicket that you missed.
Have a sort of dreamlike sequence, something to do with Sibley, inches off the turf, diving forward, was it?
That's your dream, and it's New Zealand's nightmare for Colin de Grandhomme. Exactly what happened. He couldn't believe it either.
Santana's on strike. It's Leech, unfortunately, who's bowling to him. The left-handed Santana, who just goes back in his crease, pushes out into the offside, and there's no run.
I'd taken him off, Ralph. I'd actually had taken. Is that some buzzers?
Yes, and they just there's been a misfield there. Was that Jofra Archer mid-off, or was Archer running back to atone for someone else's mistake? And just watching the replay now. Yes, it was Jofra Archer who just went through.
It wasn't buzzer. It went through his hands at mid-off. Oh dear.
That's poor fielding.
It is poor.
He's seen the funny side.
Do you think
Cricket's a
lack of
funny old
concentration?
game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Santana's got 5 off 30. Watling's still there. Is Watling still there?
Well,
Watling's
yes,
still there.
He is still
Watling
there.
is still there. 228 balls he's batting for.
Crikey.
But my point, Ralph, is that Santana had come in, looked all over the sea against Stokes.
And now the spinner's on.
And okay, he didn't read Leech too well either, but he looked distinctly more uncomfortable against Stokes. Why didn't Joe Root take action?
Yes, as the next ball has worked very nicely by Santana down to long on. They've taken the single. He moves to 6.
We should say hello to Callan Hammond on Crick Tracker. Hello, you. Watching us. Getting sleepier as the day goes on. We've only got a few sessions, a few little half-hour spells to go, and we'll be tucked up in our beds.
Oh.
Well, you would have been tucked up in bed twice, wouldn't you?
It's very nice. As Leech, he's over the wicket to the right-hander. And Watling just turns it very nicely off his toes. Just a square leg, taking the single. The proffered single, he moves to 82. Leech he's only taken with one wicket, 1 for 79 off, this is his 30th over. Still very concerned with this balding pace. He hasn't had a hat on all day.
It's not that hot, I know. It's kind of like England.
The sun really, there's no ozone layer, Bear.
That's Australia. I thought there was
no,
an
it's the
ozone.
same in New Zealand. You asked George DeBell, he was going on about getting sunburnt in the cold.
And he's rather dragged this one down as Santana has freed his arms and played an expansive force off the back foot. So Leech will go the same way as penguins at this rate. He doesn't put a hat on.
But again, I mean, this is going to help Santana's confidence. There's no way that Leech should be bowling now. This is bad captaincy from... I'm coming off the fence. This is bad captaincy from Joe Root. Missed his opportunity. If you've seen the way Santana was batting against Stokes, anyone with any nous, captaincy, real captaincy nous, would have seized that moment.
Santana, tall figure, tall left-hander, just comes forward and plays a lovely...
He's going to nick off now.
Correct forward defensive stroke to the next
Well, I
ball
mean,
from
he did play and miss a couple of times against Leech, which is maybe why Root has kept him on, but it's nothing compared to how he looked against Stokes.
Rather resembling Joe 90 underneath the helmet and glasses.
Well, rather resembling the bowler.
Yes, as he covers up to the next ball.
I mean, he's a
couple of spin bowlers, both lefties as well, with glasses on.
He's a Jack Leach doppelganger.
Indeed.
Let's hope he's not as obdurate.
He's got hair. And these are the speeds when it gets to the speed of
this over. Really, the over from Stokes, you really wanted to see that delivered to Santana.
Absolutely. Excuse me. Well, let's have a few messages. And so Ahmed says, "Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning to you. I guess you're getting up in India." And so Ahmed says, "He's from India." There you go. That's what I was saying.
I didn't get a word of that.
He's getting up. He's saying good morning. He's getting up in India. I presume about 4:30. It's about 7-8 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, it must be, yeah.
In India. Abhishek, he says there could be better ways to attract the captain's attention if you want to bowl than misfielding a straightforward ball coming to you. This is very true.
Yeah. Watling on strike. To Stokes, who continues with this round the wicket line.
Well, we were speculating, Ralph, whether Watling would change his style after that wicket, and I didn't think he would, and he's just going to keep going, isn't he? So
yes.
It's about how many runs are scored as much from the other end. That's why we were looking at the batting averages of 9-10 Jack, and I said something in a disparaging way about Tim Southey's batting, and generated a Twitter storm.
Just back of a length again from Stokes, and Watling covers up straight bat.
Of Tim Southey supporters telling us that he had a better Test match average than Joe Root for a period last year.
Well, that may be the true. I mean, he can certainly hit a long ball, can't he, Southey?
I think that was from Abhishek. I can't remember who tweeted us that.
Back of a length again from Stokes. Same spot. Must be a dent in the pitch now, given the consistency with which he's bowling that line and length. But Watling has plenty of time just to rock back in the crease.
I mean, you have to be able to you can make things happen on a cricket field, can't you? You can change things. When people talk about, good Lord, when people talk about torpid periods in a game, that's as much an issue with the captaincy as anything else, isn't it? You can always change it round.
Back over the wicket for Stokes, and it's another bumper which Watling ducks underneath, goes through to Butler behind the sticks, no run. So Watling there just still chewing his gum. He's got 82 off 233 balls, proper old-fashioned Test match batting. Once upon a time, if he does make 100, that would have been 100 at sort of normal lick, wouldn't it? Watching yet more airborne protagonists, so. David, there.
I guess, yeah. I'm still
the next ball is horrible, wide, really wide filth.
Oh, that's full.
And Sam Curran running round. Is it Sam Curran or is it Pope?
No.
Pope running round at third man. Looks like he's saved a four.
No,
they're going to take a look at that one. Right,
yeah.
I think.
Oh no, Zach Crawley.
Zach Crawley.
The substitute fielder is on.
He banged into the.
They're going to take a very close look at this. And we're just having a look to see whether it touched the rope. I don't think. Oh, did he manage to get away from the ball?
No.
Yes, and 4's been signalled now.
4 runs. And deservedly so. Nice shot from Watling, almost goaded into that by the commentary team here.
Stokes back round the wicket now, full. Attempted Yorker length. Watling read it and has just bunted it down to mid-wicket. That's the end of the over.
But my point, Ralph, is that, you talk about passages of play being torpid, and you talk about, the old-fashioned batting. But surely it's up to captains to use, modern thinking as well, in terms of getting out of those periods of torpor and doing something to make something happen. And when you've got Santana walking in, clearly uncomfortable against short pitch bowling, you've surely got to let him have that rather than continuing with your plan or a preconceived plan.
And now there's basically a vandal has entered the arena, and he's beating the pitch with a sledgehammer, like
That
a
is
mini sledgehammer.
Extraordinary. Things that you wouldn't see in other sports. Can you imagine someone doing that on a golfing green?
This must be a Maori ritual. This is probably a local tradition.
He's just randomly hitting the pitch as well.
A member of the ground staff has come out with a mallet, presumably at the request of the bowler or the umpire, and is absolutely smashing the ground with a mallet.
He's trying to flatten it, isn't he?
What is going on? What's going off out there?
This is extraordinary.
I mean,
Maybe
look
he's bringing
at
up
the way
worms.
he's hitting the ground, though, and he's hardly making a dent in the ground. That's solid ground, man.
It's a worm catching competition.
This pitch is going to do nothing for the next 2 days. This game is grinding to a draw.
But that's my point, Bear. That they've got to make things happen.
Yeah, you do have to try. Yeah, no, I agree with
But
you.
asking a demented lunatic to come on with a claw hammer to physically beat the pitch.
It wasn't a claw hammer, it was a mallet.
If you're that confident that it's grinding to a draw, Bear, you should take the 13
Actually,
to
it
8
was a
that's
club
available.
hammer, not a claw hammer.
Anyway, Joe Root, the skipper has listened. He's round the wicket to left-hander Santana, who's all over him. He's got the measure of Root, and he comes forward and plays a lovely straight batted defensive shot into the covers, no run.
Bear, if you're that confident the game's grinding to a draw, you should take the 13 to 8. It's available on the draw.
It wasn't available anymore after I even said that, so it was 11 to 8. It's probably about evens now. Odds on, I thought.
Root,
I'll have a
there's
look.
slip, there's a short leg, and this one is just short of a length. Pushed down to point by Santana, no run.
Well, I don't understand this. Not that I don't like to see Joe Root into the tap, but surely he should have replaced Leech rather than Stokes.
This one just dragged down again, but Santana's attempted force doesn't get past the bowler, no run.
You're just accepting, Bear, that the cat. You're accepting
You
that.
chided me into it. I'm taking the draw at 7 to 5.
Yeah, quite right.
Root continue with this around the wicket line. As Santana pushes it back to the bowler, no run.
I should have taken your money there. Actually, should have put my money where my mouth is. But with this captaincy, I'm not sure that it won't be.
Root in again as Santana's come down the track. He's lofted him wide of long on for a maximum.
Let's talk about sex.
Yeah.
Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex.
Well, this is perfect for Santana with Joe Root coming on. He must feel like Christmas has come about 4 weeks early.
Yeah.
I mean, as I say, he was just so uncomfortable against the short pitch bowling. He had no answer to it. And
Next ball dragged down by Root, pushed out into the covers off the back foot by Santana, and he's taken the one. He's on strike for the and for the next over. New Zealand 344 for 6, Santana 17, Watling 86.
now I know why Fred Truman, when he was on commentary, used to say the same thing over and over again. I feel like I'm now taking the Fred Truman position, trying to get a reaction from either of you.
Well,
Trying to get one of you to agree with me.
Well, I do agree with you. I think it's true. And the thing is, Mitchell Santana is quite a good hitter in short form cricket.
Yeah, but there's my point is there's no inevitability of a game grinding to a halt. It's all about the captaincy. If you allow it to do that, it's the fault of the captain. You've got talented bowlers in this lineup, and you've got ways of getting them out.
True. But there's no guarantee it's going to happen, is it? I mean, the pitch.
It's Santana, not Bradman.
Yeah, I know, but the pitch isn't helpful.
What to do with the pitch?
Stokes continues to left-handed Santana, who turns this to short leg, and there's no run. There's still a slip in place. Got that short leg. Ring field, I imagine.
Not entirely, but you got the tools you got to work with, and if you bang it in the pitch and it doesn't do a lot.
Well, it doesn't do a lot.
Well, it's not really getting up unless you bowl it really short, which goes ballooning over his head.
No, he hit it. Stokes has struck Santana 3 or 4 times already.
Stokes in again now, and this one is once again dug into the pitch.
That was too short.
Yeah.
Goes over Santana's right shoulder to Butler behind the sticks.
Got to get it just right. Zahir Chokil says, match balance. Yes. Good morning, sir. So someone else with Sanskrit handle, which I can't read. Raymond Khan says, good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, afternoon, even to you. Afternoon, morning. It's morning for us. Anyone on Twitter?
Santana, angular left-hander, is on strike, and he covers up off the back foot. Push to Archer, cover no run.
Evil Scooter says, given New Zealand is further south than Australia, presumably the hole in the ozone layer affects them even worse. Aussies just also have the added bonus of extra heat to roast themselves. It's true. Abhishek Chopra says, ground staff uses Ashley mallet on a bowling crease. Maybe it's going to turn a bit now.
Stokes in again now, just short of a length. Santana covers up, no run.
It's not going to turn off that. That was literally on a popping crease. You don't want to bowl it that full. And a full size. My headache hasn't gone, but the Grand Dame has, so I can only assume it's BJ causing it, weirdly. The Jersey Jingler. I like that. Senor Peel. So when I ask if the pitch is the problem, you all say, no, captaincy is terrible. But when the bear says the pitch is shit, you all say, yes. Sycophants. You're sycophantic to me. No, I think the pitch is pretty shit. The pitch is so slow, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to catch the batsman out once they're in.
Who was that tweet from?
That was from the Jersey Jingler.
Listen, Jersey Jingler, you can hardly accuse me of being sycophantic to the bear. I don't know.
He's having a rant at me, in fact.
I'm having a rant. A, I don't owe him anything, and B, doesn't owe me anything. I've got no axe to grind. I was saying precisely the opposite. That there's something in it in the wicket.
I don't think there is anything in the wicket.
Short of a length again from Stokes. Turned to short leg by Santana, no run.
I mean, you've got a chance. You've always got a chance of getting someone out. If you bowl aggressively and short, and you're particularly quick. But the longer the batsmen stay there, obviously, the easier it gets.
Indeed, that's my point. When the wicket falls, you have to go in for the kill. This was my issue with a lot of Alistair Cook's.
Yes, I mean that is true.
And I've seen Cook have. The most famous example of banal captaincy I can remember was against the Australians under Cook, when he kept the field back when Shane Watson was in the 90s. Now we know that Shane Watson never scored Test match centuries. They were very, very rare.
Yes.
And he got 2 in his whole career. And he had the field back, allowing him to get them in singles. Never brought the field up. It's that type of thing, which is like schoolboy errors. If you were a schoolboy captain, you'd be expected to do that. If Wes was here about the under-11s.
Absolutely.
Root continues to the right-hander Watling, who forces this off the back foot square on the offside for a single. Sibley Fields.
I'll be the other, similarly yesterday when Butler had the field out and he wouldn't take singles for Leech, we should have got 400, 450.
Of course, with Leach's track record, he's the most obdurate batsman in the England team. Most difficult to shift. Of course, that was an error.
Round the wicket to the left-hander, who plays a nice square cut, gets through the ring field. Fielder moving round from point is Zach Crawley, the substitute, who keeps them to 2. Score moves to 347 for 6, nearly parity now.
Well, I think they're going to have about a 70-80 run lead minimum here, looking at this. We have some people, our friends at Crick Tracker have been in touch.
Slip still in place as Santana covers up, pushes back to the bowler, no run.
Kumar Chanda Mishra says hello. Tanzim Abdullah says good afternoon. Ravish good. Kumar Dugasar says hi, as does Roshan Bardwaj.
Dragged down by Root. Santana cuts to Crawley, who's 5 yards in on the point boundary. They're taking the 1.
Well, I was calling for Joe Root to come on before because I thought he'd bowled well, but I'm not convinced he's the man to get Santana out.
No, it's looking very easy at the moment, isn't it?
That's my point about the pitch. I think the pitch isn't offering. The thing is, the pitch doesn't look like it's ever going to break up either, does it? I mean, there is no spin now, and we're at the back end of day 3.
Well, a correction. Jack Neech did turn a couple sharply. One went right past Josh Butler. So the spin has been there. If you give it a bit more air.
The right-handed Watling
doesn't
on
look to be spinning it right now.
To Root, and he pushes this into the covers, takes the one to a deepish cover, wideish mid-off.
So the occasional one has turned there, but it's not. By no means is it a Bunsen burner.
No, absolutely not.
Neither is it a Bunsen burner at. Is it the Wacker?
No, it's the Gabba.
The Gabba, sorry.
The Gabba, the Kiwi.
In that match, we'll have a little update in a moment in that game.
Yeah, I can give you.
Santana defends the last ball of the over. Root fields off his own bowling. That's the end of the over. New Zealand 349 for 6.
All the fucking twats who couldn't score any runs in England have gone home to flat back bully the Pakistanis, and they are doing that magnificently, aren't they? They're 400 and odd for 3.
Well, one of the flat track bullies who did score runs in the summer is Labuschagne, and who's on 143. So he's not one of the people that didn't turn up over the summer. He's one of the few
he's
that
not.
Did turn
but
up.
then weirdly, he was big scoring for Cardiff, wasn't he? When he was over here. However, fucking Warner couldn't buy a run in England, and he's got 140 indeed. When he's gone back home.
Indeed, 150 odd, wasn't it? Warner finally went for
147 or something.
No, he got it to 150. Went 154. Burns 97. Labuschagne 143 not out. Smith was out for 4. It's a young Yasser Shah, whose bowling figures are quite interesting. 40 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 160. Probably the longest amount of overs he's had to bowl. My prayers, have they been answered? Is this Joffre coming into the attack? No. It's Sam.
Maybe Joffre's injured, you never know. We've had some other people say hello. Kashif Syed says good morning. Atish Dapanka Bag says good morning. Papu Yadav says good morning. Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Happy good morning in India. It's very early morning still here in the UK.
Nothing to do.
Good morning. Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning.
Isn't that on Sergeant Pepper?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. It's called Good Morning, funny enough, isn't it?
I've got
I think so.
Nothing to say, but it's okay. Good morning. Good morning.
That's the one.
So Sam Curran is in. He's round the wicket to the right hand of Watling, who rather rides the bounce and the angle of attack and turns it to the wide, I suppose a leg gully, but there's no run.
Do you know what's on my mind, Ralph? Is whether we're going to see the first ever century from a New Zealander at the Bay Oval.
Yes, Watling must be eyeing that milestone very keenly now. He's only, 10 short? 12 short?
12 short. It's taking him a bloody long time to get 238 balls to 88. North Stand Gang Wankaday says, did you watch Mitchell Santana? Of course we did. We just commentated on it. Has come down the track and hit Route 66, plonked him down the ground for a mild helicopter shot 6. Learning from MS Dhoni in the CSK dugout, eh?
Oh,
quite possibly. There's a lot of things to learn off Dhoni in the CSK dugout.
Watling on strike. The short ball from Curran. Watling ducks underneath it. Butler behind the stumps. Collects effortlessly.
I'll tell you one other thing, Ralph, that occurs to me. Is it's nice to see this Test match being pretty well supported. Because you hear these stories about no one watching Test cricket in New Zealand. They can't all be Barmy Army. There's, I know it's not a stadium, so it's more the park setting with the banks, but it's decent.
It's quite chilled though, isn't it?
Decent enough crowd.
Yeah.
You don't need more than that.
Well, ideally you do, but ideally you need to fill the MCG.
Oh, Curran nearly forced a mistake from Watling. Watling tried to just clip it off his pads and was only 2 yards shy of Stokes there at that leg gully position.
Hardly a smack, but I just thought I'd like that jingle. But it wasn't really a smack, it was more a glide, a glance. But that's why Ben Stokes was there.
No point in complaining, you fucking dropped him on about 42.
Well, that's probably why he was frustrated. So
you won't
Watling's gone into the 90s.
I don't forget.
You won't be voting for him for Sports Personality of the Year.
I probably will.
As Watling. Sorry, Watling. Watling? I can't even talk anymore. What time is it? 3:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
Has turned it.
Used to be a party.
Well,
back
the
with a square on the leg
It's
side,
not-
taking the one.
The fact that it's 3:30, Ralph, is irrelevant. What's the time out there? It's the time there that counts. What the audience wants to know is what stage are we in the game? How long is there to go in the game? Not how long have we got to go before we can sleep.
2 days of mind-numbing tedium to come, basically.
Thankfully, I'm not in for the next 2 days.
Oh, really? What are you up to?
I'm going to Brighton.
Oh,
Is
no.
that your way
yes.
of boosting the audience figures for tomorrow, Ralph?
Well, it's still intriguing. You know, strange things can happen. I put money on the draw. What have we got? Evil Scooter says, meanwhile, some of your UK listeners might be thrilled to know that Nat Skyver scored 52 or 37 for the Perth Scorchers in the WBBL match today. She's also taken a wicket. Don't give a shit, quite frankly.
Well, no, I'm a Nat Cyber fan.
Oh, yeah, I like her.
Say yes.
But I don't give a shit about the WBBL, nor the BBL, quite frankly.
Santana's on strike. He's got 20, somehow. As he comes forward, long, lanky levers, defends off the front foot.
Apparently I missed it. Abhishek's upset with me. Says, Bear, you missed my Ashley Mallet, Oz off-spinner and cricket writer pun.
I think we had that one, didn't we?
You read it
well, I
out.
did say it earlier.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that Ashley Mallet was a cricket writer. Is he true? Is he?
Well, he was a cricketer.
he was a
I think
cricketer,
he
wasn't he?
must have gone into journalism in the same way
okay.
that I'd say journalism in inverted commas, the same way as Jeff Lawson went into journalism.
No, Mog, I'm not.
As Curran is in again now, and Santa defends off the front foot.
Yeah, I'll still keep trying when he says, are you tired and emotional enough to say Bradman I yet, Bear? No. I could do, just because I want to, but I'm not going to.
A little bit more cloud cover over the ground now, but not sort of swinging conditions. Obviously, we've got this moribund pitch. And the Kookaburra ball, that's not assisting things either.
So why is Curran on then if it's not swinging conditions? New Zealand have just taken the lead, haven't they? They've just gone one run ahead with 4 wickets remaining. So
they scored exactly 2. They came out at 144, didn't they? So it's exactly 210 runs they scored today. There were 3 entries, I think, for the GPL. I shall check them out in a bit. Abhishek, how to pronounce Labuschagne? It's La, as in lager, Booze, as in booze, Kak, as in cack. Shit, I guess. Labu Kak Ni, as in Neesham. Labuschagne.
Well, Abhishek, I spoke to his agent the other day. He didn't use that pronunciation, but maybe you know better.
Leech over the wicket
better than Bear.
to the right hand of Watling, who plays sort of pushed off drive.
Abhishek, are you saying you know better than Bear how to pronounce his name?
No, I think he's given up, hasn't he, in Australia? He just calls himself Labuschagne because they can't get... I mean, I think that probably is the correct... he is South African, and that sounds about right from all the people I've spoken to.
Watling thinks about coming down the track, but just dinks this into the leg side. Butler fields, no run.
But the way it's spelt and the way you say that in English, the G-N-E would be silent, Shagney. So Labuschagne, someone that looks like an Englishman.
Leech just rolling the ball on his fingers, is up the wicket now. Just dragged down a little bit. Flat batted to cover, short cover, no run.
I tell you, it does look nice ground to sit and relax on the ground.
Yeah,
the
totally.
There, you can bring your own chair, bring your own deck chair.
Thanks, Mog.
You know, it's a nice little. Oh, it's just, the weather looks so nice as well.
I've got
very English weather, isn't it? I mean, it's 25 degrees. It's probably about the hottest it gets. And,
English weather? Have you been outside?
Yeah, no, English summer weather, though, isn't it? Similar
that's
sort of
my
temperature,
point.
similar temperament. Yeah,
yeah, that's my
girls
point.
in pretty floaty summer dresses.
There you go, Ralph. He's off on one.
Jumpers for golf or whatever.
Ooh.
As
a bit
Watling comes down the
adventurous.
track again to Leech, but decides just to cover up in the end. I've got a Kiwi friend who doesn't live far from this ground, and he always used to tell me stories of going to the cricket where apparently you weren't allowed to take booze into the ground, but somehow you were allowed to carry sofas in to the ground, sit on the sofa, and of course they'd smuggle the booze in the sofa.
Sensible, very sensible.
The next ball just dragged down by Leech, and I think it's Pope just running back there, keeps him to the one. Sorry, it's Joe Denley.
Do you have a specially built sofa with a massive cooler underneath the sofa?
Yeah.
Now there's someone who's had a quiet day. Joe Denley, I think he touched the ball about 3 times all day, and he hasn't had a bowl. And easy money, isn't it?
Yeah, it might work good in a bowl. Mog says, you are made of stern stuff indeed, Bear. I am made of stern stuff, Mog, unlike some of the other reprobates on this show. I'm not saying that about
No
anyone
names,
here.
no
No names, no, yeah. But, I'm still drinking beer, third day in a row at, 4 in the morning. I'm doing good. We haven't switched around already.
Whenever the Plenty Sport Climbing Association decided to do a promotion at the cricket, that was money well spent. They get a lot of airtime, don't they?
That was stopped.
Is it anything to do with the with the sort of qualities of the climbers, do you think?
There's been some rapid people up that wall. You've seen them? Every once in a while they go there, someone's just scooting up the wall at a great pace.
Terrifying.
Not really. You've got a rope on. You're not going to fall off.
There's
no death involved. It's not like real life,
Well, it depends what the load bearing on that rope is. You never know.
Lovely
Sorry,
shot.
Curran's back in. Curran's continuing. There's a lovely check cover drive. Beautiful stuff there from Watling.
And Watling moving up to 96. I just want to say something about BJ Watling. I know I sound like the founder member of his fan club, but I think this has been, a fantastic innings from him. He came in when the side was in trouble, about 140, 31 for 4, and he held the team together in a partnership with Nicol first of all, and then his partnership with Grandom. And look, he's still there on 98, and he deserves the century. He deserves to be the first ever New Zealander, or the first ever New Zealander to score a Test match century at the Bay Oval.
Is that correct?
Yeah, it's the first game there, isn't it?
Do you also know, weirdly, the last 100 wickets that New Zealand have got in Test cricket in New Zealand, none of them have been taken by spinners.
That's extraordinary, isn't it?
He's scored 7 Test match centuries already. The crowd
Is that his
expectantly,
beloved?
it could be the crowd that expectantly looking for his 8th Test match century. I will go away from Sydenham a happy man if I can be still in the jingle chair when he gets his century, even though I'm about to be replaced by Alan. He's on 99. Al, spare a thought for BJ Watling fan.
Watling on 99.
Let me pay my respects to him. If I pay them respects too early, could be out.
How many balls is that? 3 more balls on the
he's
over.
off strike.
Santana's on strike, left-hander. Watling's on 99. He just clipped that one down to long leg for a single.
Also, I haven't been on Gorilla for a long time. This is my last stint of the night. I'm not on the rotors. I've been crossed off. Too much of a Watling fan.
The next ball is flayed by Santana into no man's land. Just sort of deep cow, mid-wicket area, broad running back fields now. Keeps him to 3.
Well, you could be lucky enough. He's got his strike back. That's a 3 runs.
I suppose that's the object of the exercise, Ralph, is to hit it into no man's land.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
No filter. You're almost disapproving. Disapproving of him there.
The thing is, when you're on telly, you don't know where the fielders are. You think, that might be a chance, and then. And they obviously knew
Bradman hits it into no man's land again.
The cur.
Come on, Bradman.
Watling's on strike.
Come on, BJ. Will Joe Root bring the field up? He is going to bring the field in. Good. He's bringing deep square leg into square leg. So there's a ring of fielders presenting this landmark of the first ever Kiwi batsman to score a century at the Bay Oval.
How many tests have been here?
Pointed out by Al earlier on. Here he is now. Is this going to be it? It's it! He's going to let me call it. He's got his century for BJ Watling. His 8th Test match century, and what a time to choose to find it and to choose it here. The New Zealand players are on the balcony. He takes his helmet off. The crowd are on their feet, all 3 of them.
Should have been caught on 40, but
Big crowd here, and they're all rising as one. And it's undemonstrative celebrations, as befits the man. He's just doing his job. His 8th Test match century. He's not going to be. He's not going to start punching the air or doing a sort of Dave Warner style leap in the air, whatever it was that was described yesterday. There he is, the first ever century maker at the Bay Oval. Indeed, the first ever Test match at the Bay Oval, as Wes pointed out earlier.
Is it the first ever Test?
We believe it is.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
But it's still a fantastic achievement, and I'm going to leave a happy man there and allow Al. I've got 1 ball left.
Yeah.
You might as well finish the ball.
Here comes Carney bowls, and it's Santana, who should have been out a long time ago, to Stokes, who's still there because Root did not bring on Archer or Broad to bowl at him when he was on 0. Thank you.
So I think we're going to have a little change now. Bear, Where are you off to?
I'm off out.
You're off out. At.
I'm at. I think you're out. No, you're in. You're going there. I'll give some tweets while you move around. Messages GC Lover says, question of the day. These are the current top 8 ranked Test batsmen. What do they have in common? Obviously, they're in the top 8 and they score lots of runs. Smith, Kohli, Williamson, Pujara, Rahane, Nichols, Root. There's Nichols in the top 8. There you go. What do they all have in common? I can't see anything obvious. You're going to have to tell us that, Messages. Doesn't look obvious. Nautical stern. All stern, no prow, says Jeff Perkins. I don't know what he's replying to. A right arse end. There's something going on there. I'm going to leave that to you, Al, and Will's going to come take over for me. Where's, sorry?
Thank you, Bear. Thank you, Bear. Congratulations to BJ Watling. I am Al Hotch, and I will take you through the next, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour or so.
Yes.
Thoughts, Ralph the Wonderland? Just not anything. Doesn't have to be necessarily cricket.
Well, no, it's been a fantastic knock. I've rather enjoyed it, actually. It's lovely old-fashioned batting.
Yeah.
He's scored at what, 2.5 runs and over. It's not bad. It's not bad.
He's not.
He's chiselled it out, and he's put his.
It's not been flash.
He's put his team in a very encouraging position. Another hour's batting, and they'll have a handy lead, right?
Yeah, he's definitely got helmet hair there. There you go.
So how much? We've got another hour today? Hour and a half?
Yeah, we've got about another 17 hours to go. 17 overs left to go.
Right. Well, hopefully Joe Root will whiz through them and we can all go home.
Oh, did they not tell you, Ralph? You're here to do the live coverage of the Round the World Yacht Race starting at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Chained to the radiator.
This place is like the Hotel California. you can't. You can check out if you want. You just can't. Seeing some of Watling's highlights here in his 100 not out at the moment, 251 balls. Like we said, a more old school knock, but given the situation, as Mr. Brook talked about, when he arrived at the crease, it's been exactly what the doctor ordered, and he has swung the game, really, I believe, in New Zealand's favour. And with Santana looking a damn sight more comfortable than when he did at the beginning of his knock, the sky's the limit here for what they can put over and increase this lead over the course of the remainder of day 3. Don't think. I mean, we also saw the damn good malleting that went on the pitch.
It was extraordinary, wasn't it? I've never seen anything like it.
It was just the fact that the pitch was so unresponsive. But to be perfectly honest, even though it's kind of slow, it's getting lower.
Were they trying to summon up spirits from
potentially
from the mountain behind or something?
I mean, it's just terrible to see pitch invasions take on that form.
Yes.
So, drinks break finished. New Zealand 364 for 6, 125 overs in their innings so far. Looks like Sam Curran is going to be continuing his spell. 2 for 74 for Curran off 23 overs. Watling's average, which at the beginning of his innings was somewhere around about the 38, is now 39.75. Just goes to show what a good century will do for you. Watling may have in his sights his career high score of 142 not out in tests. Oh no, it's Jack Leach who will be bowling. The first ball on an outside Watling's leg stump, and Watling is very easily just able to move that ball away to deep square leg and take a single. Probably an indication of how comfortable I think he feels Santana is against spin, that he's willing to take that single off the first ball. The partnership now up to 49 off 90 balls.
He's a different keeper batsman, isn't he? Most of the keeper batsmen are bangers, but he's a little accumulator. He's
a limpet, isn't he? So Leach will come in for the second ball of his over. Nice flighted ball just outside off stump, and Santana presents the full face of the bat. Just a forward defensive shot, and there is no run. When I was last on the mic, I kind of observed that the way that Leech bowls to Watling, he can't get him out. He can't get him out LBW. As Leech comes in, a slightly quicker ball that Santana kind of jabs down onto defensively, and there is no run. He's pitching the ball outside leg to a man that's got an open stance, and so all he's allowing Watling to do is just to push the ball out onto the leg side. There's a single there every time he wants it.
He doesn't seem to be able to exert any pressure with him.
Exactly. Santana just plays a regulation forward defensive shot to Leech's 4th ball of the over, and there is no run. But Leech is back at his mark relatively quickly, turns around and begins his run up to come in for the 5th ball, and that's a slightly fuller ball, just angling in towards off stump, but Santana's able to easily block that out. Leech will do the fielding off his own run up, and there is no run. Final ball of the over, and Santana rocks back. It looked like he was going to cut the ball away, but in the end strapples it really down to long off. Santana takes the single, moves on to 24, and that's the end of the over. Have we had any tweets, Wes?
We've had a couple come in. We've got one from Herr Commissar. BJ Watling is the guy you want in a crisis. And I think that's fairly fair.
I think that's fair
to say. And another one from Messages is Al doing the commentator in residence thing again, or did the prospect of so much grind to you this time?
No, I am absolutely going home. I'm going home to my wife. So I'll be on first trains and things like that, and I will be hopefully not oversleeping my stop on one of the last Virgin trains before they disappear off the West Coast Main Line.
And an answer to the question, what's the top 8 ranked Test batsmen?
Oh yeah.
The answer is that every one of the top 8 has been at the crease in a Test match in the last 48 hours.
Well.
That's some stat, isn't it?
That's. Oh, and is it? Joe Root is trolling, having a pop at Mr. Brook. No sooner as he put his commentary microphone down than the very person that he called for,
yes,
not an hour ago,
has
been summoned to the crease. It may be a little bit too late. The stable door may well have truly been, open too long and the horse has bolted. But Jofra Archer will now resume hostilities.
Jofra Archer.
Archer in first ball to Santana. It's a filth down the leg side, and Santana is very eager to step inside the ball and just shoulder arms and just let that go through to the wicket keeper, and there is no run.
Got Jeff Perkins saying, going home to your wife, surprised she's willing to take you back.
I'm surprised she was able to marry me in the first place, to be honest. I'm a very lucky boy, but I've only been married for a month, so I'm still at that lovey-dovey stage. Short ball from Archer, a steepler. Santana has to take it around armpit level, and does very well actually, just to drop that ball down onto the pitch short of short square leg. But I think we'll see a few balls like that to Santana, and I think we will hear howls of derision from the green room should it be that Archer dispatches Santana in good order. And that's a attempted Yorker, but it's too far down leg side, and Santana again, whether it's by design or by just instinct of self-preservation, again just rocks gently inside the line of the ball, attempts no shot, and it goes through to the wicket keeper, and there's no run. No, because he looked in all sorts of trouble against Stokes when he first came in.
Yeah,
he was in deep doo-doo. Technical term. Archer comes in for the 4th ball of the over, and again short, and Santana half ducks, half just hits the deck in just sheer avoidance through to the wicket keeper. No run. 366 for 6, New Zealand. Santana 24 off 63 balls, and the irrepressible Watling 101 off and 252 balls, almost an entire day's worth of play, really. Archer comes trundling in for the 5th ball of the over, and that is again down the leg side, and Santana again eager to get inside the line of the ball. Kind of a wasted over from Archer, really, at this stage.
Just realised Watling's faced 42 overs, all on his own. Some quick mental arithmetic.
That is very quick mental arithmetic. That's very good.
4:15 in the morning.
That you've done very well there. Rachel Riley would be proud. So let's see what Archer can do with the last ball of this over, and he comes in around the wicket, and that's a slightly better, well-directed ball, short of a length, but Santana is able to play the ball from just outside off stump, defensively into the offside field. No run, end of the over.
Another tweet from Messengers. Newlyweds are very forgiving.
Well, she's been very forgiving for 3 years. No complaints, Jez. No complaints at all. I know she's not listening at the moment. She's not that forgiving.
So will she greet you at the station? Will there be garlands and I don't know, a lovely warm hot pot in the oven waiting for you? Your slippers and your faithful hound at the door.
I had no idea that I was commentating with a man from the 1930s. I will be greeted with hugs when I arrive at the house. Leech will continue. First ball of his over to Watling on leg stump. But again, Watling is very easy to be able to just put everything in line. Forward defensive shot. There is really no threat. Leech is becoming a containing bowler rather than an attacking bowler to Watling with the way that the field is set. Leech in again. Watling comes down the track to him a little bit, but only really comes down the track in order to play a defensive shot. Pushes the ball down to mid-wicket, and there is no run. Leech in again quickly, and this is again outside leg stump, but Watling's setup allows him to be able to just put that front foot out and forward and get everything in line, and again there is no run, and this I think only adds to the frustration that England have shown in the field today. I wonder how people are getting on with the GPL. This further outside the off stump, and Watling tries to almost drive this through mid-wicket, but can only find the mid-wicket fielder, and there is no run. So New Zealand run 366. They started off on 144. That's pushed by Leech outside off stump, and Watling is able to push the ball through the covers, and that will run all the way for 4 runs. Watling moves on to 105.
Now my innings going, great guns, I hit the ball, 4 runs, I hit the ball, and it went for 4 runs.
And I think it's,
Do I smell toast?
It's either that or I'm about to have a massive heart attack. Last ball of the over from Leech. And again, that is outside off stump, just turning into, well, maybe just outside off stump. Forward defensive shot by Watling into the mid on, and there is no run, and that's the end of the over.
Tweet from Anna Forsyth coming. What precisely is going wrong out there? Is the pitch that dead, or is Watling that good?
I think it's a combination of
the both.
I think we all identified that there was an opportunity to maybe, take advantage of Santana's uncertainty, but Watling has a tradition of being a difficult batsman to get out. That, and the way that certainly Leech has bowled to him certainly gives the indication that they're prepared to wait him out, which hasn't really done anybody any favours. Let's see if Archer can be better this over than the last with his line and length towards Santana. In for the first ball of the over, and that is a terrible ball down the leg side. this around the wicket line doesn't really seem to be doing him any favours. Santa's finding it very easy just to come inside the line. He, kind of half offered a shot that he really didn't need to offer at, and that's really because just how far down the leg side that ball went. So Archer really has been not at the races so far today, and that's hopefully instilling a bit of commentator's curse. That's a slightly better ball, cramping up Santana for room, but Santana's still able to lift his arms and shoulders and just be able to let the ball come underneath the armpit and down the leg side to the wicket keeper, and there's no run. Archer really does need to be, if he is going to pursue this kind of body line tactic, he needs to be a good 2 foot further towards off stump. New Zealand 370 for 6, and Archer coming in for the 3rd ball of his over, and again down the leg side, and Santana able to lift his arms above his head and just allow that ball to go inside. He's inside the line, and there is no danger to what Archer is offering at the moment.
Is there anything wrong with trying to hit the top of off? Is that terribly
I believe that is a tactic that can be involved. Have you tried bowling at the stumps, sir? Have you tried bowling at the stumps? So Archer, change of tactic, now over the wicket. It's still down the leg side, but at least that one was closer to off, in the fact that it was only 5 stumps away from off stump.
This boy's got a World Cup medal.
Yeah. Maybe he needs to. Maybe he only performs well in a blue shirt.
I would have bossed the World Cup final if this is the standard they play at.
Would you? I just want to ask you: are you absolutely sure that that's true? Archer in for the 5th ball of the over, and that is a much better short pitch ball, something that Santana actually has to play at, but he plays it pretty well, able to get on top of the ball and push that out to a sort of a square cover gully type of area, but there is no run taken from that. 1 ball left of this 129th over of the New Zealand innings. 370 for 6, New Zealand having taken a first innings lead, but in no real rush to try and maximise this today. 2 more days to go.
Oh.
That's terrible down the leg side. That really should be called a wide in any form of cricket. It is a good foot and a half wide of Santana, let alone of the stumps. A terrible delivery. Seeing some Test career histograms of BJ Watling here, showing his centuries, and it seems like he's hit a 75, well, over 75 and 2 centuries in his last 3 innings. The man is in a rich seam of form, possibly one of the greatest seams of form of his career.
He's very consistent too, isn't he?
He is. Doesn't fail very often. Bless him. 17 50s and then 8 hundreds. So what's that? Total of 25 scores over 50, converting 8 of them. At the place he bats in the lineup, that's a pretty good conversion rate. Leech again bowling over the wicket, outside the leg stump of Watling, and Watling is again like a metronome, just able to push this back defensively towards Leech, who's able to field off his bowling, and there is no run. An unwillingness to change the tune from route, which seems to be endemic of his captaincy of late. That's even further outside leg stump. It's like as if they're turning around and just prepared to starve Watling of runs and be able to try and wait him out for a mistake. Leech in for the 3rd ball of the over. I am sorry, I've just talked over you completely. I am sorry.
Quite right.
Watling does come down the track and almost yorks himself, but is able to bring the bat down, and it goes as far as mid-on, and there is no run.
On that point, Abhishek Chopra said England's lack of patience is a bit baffling. Most of today has been about hope rather than a plan.
Absolutely. Outside leg stump again from Leech, but turning in towards middle and leg, a bigger turning ball from Leech than what we've seen, but it was pitched in so short that again it's offering no danger to Watling, who's just able to put everything, including his body, behind it and block the ball back to the bowler. Sorry to sound like I am repeating myself, but the fifth ball is almost a carbon copy of the fourth, with a forward defensive shot that's played outside of leg stump and fielded by the bowler. Last ball of this over from Leech, and again outside leg stump, forward defensive shot, kind of squeezes out towards square leg. Butler is quickly onto it in order to be able to prevent a single, and there's no run. It does seem like we're in a bit of a dead spot here in the game, where Archer can't find the right line to Santana, and Leech is prepared to just starve Watling of ideas and runs. So what's been your impressions of the whole day? No?
Soporific.
Soporific.
I think I missed all the fun because there's that catch. What, the first ball after tee? I missed that one.
Yeah, you did, and what a catch it was, mate. What a catch!
Absolutely superb.
It was a proper worldie in that. You know.
And then what else is? Well, that hasn't been. I saw Santana's 6.
Yeah,
that was a highlight.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a good shot. But apart from that,
yeah,
not really. It's just one of those aimless day threes, isn't it?
Yeah, seems to be that way. Archer in around the wicket, and again, short of a length, aiming at Santana. And Santana's able to try to come inside the line, but get himself and the bat in line and just drop the ball almost onto his toes, soft hands, fielded by short leg, and there's no run. There seems to be a bit of group dancing that's going on, probably a New Zealand equivalent of the Mexican wave there from the Barmy Army. It's a short ball, but now outside off stump with the second ball of the over, and Santana again just able to play a defensive shot out into the covers, and there's no run. Seems like both sides. If this was a county game last day, you'd just turn around and go, draw, shall we?
Yeah, get on the M4.
Yeah, let's just start the car. Archer coming in, third ball of the over. Oh, and that's flailed away at it. Again, this what we saw when he was playing against Stokes, that if the ball gets to him in a hurry, he does not tend to be in control of where it's going. He's too busy to fend, and it is a hard fend that he plays at the ball, and he kind of helicopters the bat around, not really aware of where the ball is going. It's hit very high on the splice of the bat, almost at the hands. Does indicate that what we talked about almost an hour ago was absolutely the right tactic. It's just that we've employed it way too late. Actual runs, ladies and gentlemen. Fourth ball of this over. Ball back of a length. Santana able to play the ball into the covers, takes a quick single, and the scoreboard actually moves. 3-7-1 for 6, with Santana moving on to 25 from 75 balls. It'll bring Watling on to strike. 105 not out. Root having a word in Archer's ear. Not really sure what to tell him, I think. Have you tried bowling it off stump?
Top of off.
Bowl at the stumps, make them play.
You know, when we used to listen to the likes of Fred Truman and Ray Illingworth on cricket commentary,
Jack Bannister
and all that stuff. You know, Tom Gravely.
Oh, lovely Tom.
Oh yeah, just
Tom.
Halcyon days.
Peter West.
Yeah.
Strictly Come Dancing, didn't he?
And Jim Laker and all that type of stuff. But all of it, all of these cliches, which are cliches for a reason.
Tony Lewis's eyebrows.
Absolutely. Yeah. All the time I was hearing that, I was like, oh my God, that's so boring. How could you be so boring? And here I am in the middle of the centre of the road, turning around and saying exactly the same thing. Have you tried getting him out? Archer, fifth ball of the over. And that is outside off stump. Slower ball, I think, and attempt at a drive come square cut from Watling, but it's well fielded. Root has placed himself in the what we might describe as the Hayden annoyance position for a very straight on drive, which really hasn't been a shot that Watling's attempted to play all day. But there you go. Last ball of this over, and Archer is... Oh, that nips back off the pitch, I think. A little bit of something there for Archer. A slower ball again, only 118.5 clicks. Watling just squeezes the ball out onto the leg side. Nice bit of defending. There's no run. 371 for 6. Any more tweets?
Tweets from Shiro Dasgupta, watching from DC, and it's been a long week. How much time till Stump's quite sleepy, to be honest.
Yeah. The only thing that could be possibly worse would be looking at your Redskins if you're from DC. Yeah, Caps, Wiz, they will be better than this.
Jeff Perkins, I think you have forgotten England's anti-New Zealand plan. Play to avoid a result and do it all in the super over / countback.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes, that's what it's boiling down to. Yeah, well read.
I didn't. I forgot about the super duper over.
Quick one.
Yep.
For the benefit of our younger listeners,
Okie doke.
do you want to explain what a Hayden was? They
Oh,
probably don't know what a Hayden was.
Quite possibly. I will explain after this ball from Leech, who is now bowling to Santana. And that, a beautiful flighted ball. Beats Santana all ends up, but unfortunately beats Butler all ends up as well. Turns way too much. Butler really, I don't think, is picking Leech's, and neither is Santana as well. And that's gone through for 2 byes. He's tried to come forward and also tried to cut at a ball that he really should be playing defensively at. It's gone through the gate. Right, it's also beaten Butler all ends up there. Leech can consider himself a little bit unlucky. It's almost as if he's forgotten that. I mean, it's a great ball to play to Santana as a left-handed batsman. It just seems that he's forgotten for most of the day that Watling's a right-handed batsman. And he's into Watling again now, and it's a ball in exactly the same place as the one he bowled to Santana, but now this places the ball just outside leg stump, and Watling's able just to defend the ball back. I'm really surprised that Leech hasn't tried to come around the wicket. But here he is for the 3rd ball of the over, and that's much more flighted and a full-length ball, and Watling is able to drive the ball, and it beats mid-on, and it goes for 4 runs.
2 + 2 is a man.
That was excellent jingling, sir, because you've had
basically comatose.
You've had nothing to do. But he didn't have much room there.
I didn't panic.
Watling didn't have much room there in order to be able to beat the fielder, but he's managed to do it. And now he's back to that amazing forward defensive shot. Back leg, back knee, right the way onto the ground. Might not be flash, but it damn sure is effective, and it's been effective today. As we see some young New Zealanders flossing and also practicing their finger spin. A quicker ball. There's a variation from Leech trying to catch Watling out, but he's equal to the task. As we see some people starting to leave.
Oh, someone overindulged, or have they had a mischief?
Maybe a misstep, or maybe someone being tired and emotional at the end of the day. One last ball of this over, and then we'll check in with the Twitter sphere as Watling surveys the field. As Leech comes in. Will this be outside leg stump again? It is. Watling happy just to take the forward defensive shot. Feels that Santana's more or less okay against Archer or whoever else is coming at the other end. New Zealand 378 for 6.
Abhishek Chopra saying, imagine Shane Warne doing the comms on this passage of play would have shredded Root to bits, and perhaps it would have been justified.
Well, I think we've been adequately harsh on.
It's just been really flat.
On the mentality, on the plan of attack. So this is Watling's 9th match against England. He's scored 627 runs at an average of 52. 6 scores over 50, converting 2 of those into hundreds. That is not a bad shout. You'll take that.
Everyone does that gets their best figures at England, don't they?
Well,
we seem to be everyone's favourite.
That's because we gave the game to everyone. That's what it's rubbish.
Tom M saying, how many more series will we have to put up with Root as captain?
I don't know, maybe a couple. Archer in for the first ball of his over, back of a length. Santana takes a small backward step and plays a forward defensive shot. Kind of goes down towards the gully area, but nice and safe, no danger, and no run. I think, I don't know, depends how the South Africa series goes, but
Yes.
I've had, it just seems that whilst the stats are there about how successful the captain is in terms of winning test matches, as Archer comes in and against short, and Santana just kind of, again, out of an act of self-preservation, short arm just flails away at the ball, and it goes in kind of a Polish direction, but it drops safely over the head of square leg before anyone can come round from mid-wicket to be able to pick up the ball. Santana has managed to get himself off strike, and Archer looks to the heavens as if the world is conspiring against him, when, to be perfectly honest, he managed to waste the first 2.5 overs of his spell, so he's only got himself to blame. Archer in to face Watling now for the next ball of the over, and Watling just plays a nice solid forward defensive shot. We were talking, weren't we, about the idea of the Hayden annoyance position from the 2005 Ashes series, where the captaincy team put a player on in a very short but very straight drive position.
Yeah, so
almost as much to be able to occupy Hayden's eye as much as anything when facing Hoggard, and it did seem to do the trick. He did fail a number of occasions. Archer in for the next ball of the over, and it was a forward defensive shot that instead of Archer deciding to stop and field the ball properly, he decided to try and sort of backheel it towards Root. He does make contact with the ball and misses Root, and they almost scramble through a run. Just an indication of the sloppy mental attitude that seems to be running right the way through this England team at the moment. New Zealand have got them at it. As Archer comes in, and that's back of a length, outside off stump, and it gives Watling the room to be able to cut the ball backwards a square, and that goes for 4.
The number of the day. Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
It really is just
going through the motions at the moment.
Yeah,
it's waiting for something to happen.
It's almost through. Well, I'm Jofra Archer, and if I bowl enough balls, then you'll get yourself out, rather than actually trying to bowl to a plan. It just seems thoughtless, listless, soporific. Archer in, fuller length ball, but outside off stump, and Watling's not even needing to move his feet to play the forward defensive shot. There's no run, and that's the end of the over.
Well, we've got some more tweets about England's captain.
Okay.
Morg saying Stokes captain by your summer. And then Abhishek Chopra, let's ask the Gorilla Arty, who do you want as England Test captain in place of Joe Root?
I will defer to the senior partner in this room, Ralph.
I'd go for Stokes. I don't think Butler's certainly his place, but Stokes is.
I don't think Stokes. Well, I think we've got to turn around and say that if Stokes is going to be captain, then you have to have him as a batsman only.
Which he's kind of morphing into more.
He's morphing into that, but yes. I think you've got to hammer that home.
Yeah. There's a little bit of some of the rugby teams. They talk about who do the opposition want to see, who don't they want to see standing at the door with the sort of the team sheet held in front of their face, and it's always someone like Martin Johnson scare you. There's a little bit of that with Stokes, isn't there?
Possibly. Leech at the beginning of his 36th over to face Santana, and that's a good length spinning ball just outside off stump, and Santana is able to get a good stride forward defensive shot, short cover, does the fielding, no run. Ball quickly passed back to Leech, who'll come in for the second ball of his over, and that's more toward pitching on off stump, spinning into middle and leg. Santana tries to back away in order to play the ball straight past the bowler, but Leech is able to do the fielding, and there is no run. Leech with figures of 1 for 94 comes in for the third ball of his over, and again that's angled in towards off stump, but not really drawing Santana forward, not really pushing him back. Santana's just able to play the ball where he sits and where he stands, and just able to block that ball back to the bowler, and there's no run. Leech will try again. Santana's able to rock back of a ball that's slightly short, and he pierces through the cover field. It doesn't quite go all the way. Zach Crawley, who's been in the field most of the day, does a good job of stopping the four and getting a good throw in, but 3 runs able to be taken, and Santana now moves on to 29, and the New Zealand total moves on to 386 for 6 with 2 balls left in this over. The Barmy Army there, still being balmy. Not quite as balmy as the paraglider that we can see. Would you fancy doing parachute jump? That's a no for all of those of you who can't see the terrified expression
they're
on
keen
Ralph
on
the
their
Wonderless.
aerial sports, though, aren't they? They haven't stopped all day.
They are true.
Up, down.
Leech with the 5th ball of the over, outside leg stump. Watling, as has been his want, to play a forward defensive shot back to the bowler, and there's no run. And there'll be another version of that. The ball just squirting out for that forward defensive shot into the offside field. No run from that ball. 3 runs off the over, and I think there's going to be a change in the bowling. I think we've had enough of Jofra Archer for this spell, and quite possibly for the day. But while we're waiting for who the new bowler is, do you want to give us some tweets?
Sure, desk up to. Okay, turning in for the night. Thanks for the good work as always. Good to have you.
Good to have you for the day as well.
And a Forsyth seems mad to me that while Watling has looked so good and Santana has looked so uncomfortable, they didn't go hell for leather after him and just have Watling run out of partners.
That has been the cry from this commentary team and others. But Gorilla Towers has been all over that strategy from the moment that Santana came in and looked really uncomfortable against Stokes. I think it might be Curran who's going to come in and bowl.
And lastly, Spicy Golden Duck, the Barmies are in full voice and the police have ordered the bars to only serve 1 drink per person. It's been a long day. Hasn't it just?
As if that's going to stop the Barmy Army. Oh no, Archer is still going to continue. I do apologise. I thought I saw a change in the graphic. Totally wrong. So Archer into Santana. And Archer from around the wicket again is unable to find the right line down the leg side. Santana able to raise his arms inside the line of the ball, safely through to the wicket keeper. Danger averted, ball wasted. If I didn't think it was true, I would think I'd be watching a repeat of the last 5 minutes over and over and over again. Archer in for the 2nd ball of the over, and that is a straighter, shorter ball. Something that Santana can't duck out the way of, but he can get his entire body and bat behind it, and is able to drop the ball short of short leg, and there is no run. What would your tactic be? Do you think you would carry on with the short stuff?
I mean, how long have they been trying it now? For the last 20 minutes, half an hour. It's not worked.
Yeah.
I reckon I'd just try and just bowl full on the stumps, make them play, keep it simple. You miss, I hit.
Archer with the 3rd ball, and if there isn't a greater summing up of the day from England's perspective, then this ball is exactly it. It's a short ball. Santana gets behind it, plays it back. Archer can't even be bothered to field off his own bowling, and Santana and Watling are able just to walk through for a single. It seems that at least for today, New Zealand have broken England's spirit. Archer with a bouncer to Watling. It's too wide. Watling is able to duck, but really didn't have to. Didn't have to play, didn't have to duck. It's a ball again that's just Archer is bowling without really giving this too much thought. Every ball the same as before. As my colleagues have said, if plan A isn't working, there's another 25 letters of the alphabet around, and that's a full ball swinging in, and it's out. It's out.
Do we think it's that? I thought that was doing too much.
Now, what will Watling do? He's 113. He's the senior partner. I think he's
already.
They're certainly having a conflab. It's gone to DRS. It's an immediate review.
Should we have a little jingle?
I think we should. Archer, it's definitely not a no ball. It's a fuller ball. He's got an inside edge onto this.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's an inside edge.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he's a little sod, isn't he?
The inner monologue of my colleague seems to be an immediate review. Watling absolutely dead right in terms of his backing his instincts that he got a hand to that, but it does go to show that Archer's got that different plan in his locker should he wish to go and try and use it. The first time in about 20 minutes he's tried to pitch the ball up at the stumps and he had Watling in all sorts of trouble. It's only the finest of inside edges that has saved him from being banged to rights there. Let's see what he does with the last ball of the over, looking pretty frustrated. And again, that's a slightly fuller ball, but on leg stump, and Watling is able to play that ball into the leg side feed to square leg, but a single's able to be taken. Watling onto 114, not out, and that's the end of the over. And we will have a quick and short turnaround whilst Wes reads out a couple of tweets.
Messages saying, frankly, none of the England team sticks out as a potential captain. Do any of them have county captaincy experience? Ideally, Mike Brearley would be able to be off-field captain, relaying instructions via spider cam. Tom M, when was the last time Broadwild? I only woke up from a nap after tea. Is he injured?
No, he's not. I just think this wicket is fucking appalling if you're a pace bowler. There's nothing in it for you. They're using a kookaburra ball, and Watling has bowled batted exceptionally well. He's got 114. He's been out there for an age. I mean, he's been out there for, if he gets to the end of the day, he's been out there for a day and 10 overs or so. He's been out there for nearly 100 overs. He's looked solid. He's not looked rattled. He should have been out, let's face it. He should have been out on about 40. He should have made a whole different ball game. Catches win matches and all that bullshit. But it's true. Leech is going to continue. He's got one for 97 or 36. And he's going to bowl to Watling around the wicket. And we've got crick info up, because I think they're not going to go on till 6:30 here. There was only 10 overs left at about 5. 4:15, sorry. So remaining. There you go. It's just stuck it up for me. 5.5 overs remaining.
Another
so we
half
should.
hour or so.
Yeah, no, about another half hour. I'm not sure that wouldn't have. It was going quite late at the end there, and it should have. Might well have gone. Yeah, it was. Might have well gone down the leg anyway.
I mean, as Al was saying, he's got that on his locker, and Archer, and maybe could have used it a bit earlier, but he certainly had Watling in trouble from the moment he started to pitch a few out.
Last ball's defended out square on the offside. Now Watling faces up again. Leech, a lot of overs, a little bit short. And he's not able to get on the back foot and punch it out to cover, and there's not a lot of air. There's not a lot of room for error on this pitch due to the lack of pace in it. And Leech has found that it's very easy to drop it. It's just a fraction short, and the batsman can latch onto it. He's around the wicket now, and again that's just a bit too short. Punched out to there's a man at short cover. It's a skipper route. And there is a no run.
Not a lot of margin for error.
No, none at all. Around the wicket. Tossed up. And right forward is Watling, just defends it out to the leg side. No run, one ball left in this over. And
not much margin for error if you're bowling at the Gabba either. I'll tell you about that in a moment.
Oh yeah, please. It's depressing. If you're a Pakistan fan anyway. Defended and just drops it down the leg side behind square. It's fielded by Butler. Going across, no run. 5 overs remain in the day. Tell us about the Gabba.
It breaks my heart to tell you this, Bear, because I know you're not number one Aussie fan.
Well, funny that.
Australia 532 5.
Fucking hell.
Labuschagne, I'm going to keep calling him that. 171 not out.
gonna
Wade
get-
is out for 60. Travis Head is out for 24. So Tim Payne has come in now, and let's look at the bowling figures. Yasser Shah's up to 43 overs, 2 for 180. And now Shaim Shah Afridi's clocked up 30 overs. How they would regret not playing Mohammed Abbas, ranked number 12 in the ICC Test match bowl. Doesn't get a game, even though he averages 18.
I know, that was a very odd call.
He said, "Oh, the three seamers are doing a good job." Well, where? Where did they do a good job?
Yeah, well, yeah,
In
that-
Australia?
The
First test.
It is the first test. How many tests? There's only 2 tests in the series, or are there 3?
have to
Down
come
the
back to you
legs,
on that.
down the arse, and Santana gets inside it, and there's no run. Sorry?
I have to come back to you on that
Oh,
one.
okay. It's either 2 or 3, because I know they're playing New Zealand 2 or 3. And New Zealand have got a Boxing Day test, haven't they? I think, in Australia. After this, because this test series, the last day of this test series, is the 2nd of December, isn't it? The next one starts on 28th, 29th.
I'm afraid I've exhausted my knowledge on this series.
That's okay. Oh, that pops up, but just short. The man at short leg is Ollie Pope. He's a bit deep for a change.
Yeah,
rather
I'd
than
like
being
to
up.
see Pope in closer. That should have been taken. I'm sorry, Bear. In Test match cricket, that is a catch that should
Well,
have been taken.
yeah,
You're
it
gonna
should
tell me
be.
Cameron Bancroft wouldn't have taken that short leg.
Well, it depends where your short leg is. I mean, sometimes it's a little bit advantageous to have them a little bit deeper because it comes off quite quick and they can't react. It's a bit of a chance having someone in there anyway, isn't it? That one again.
Not going to enjoy this
No.
barrage from Archer. I was saying there before that Archer should have been thrown into the attack as soon as
Well,
Santana
possibly
walked away.
got inside that and it's gone through to Butler and there's no run. It doesn't look like it's troubling him that much, to be fair. Yeah, again, you've got to get it just right. You've got to get that length just right, so it's rising off the right length, so that it's coming up. If it's too short, it gives you time to get out of the way because it's slow off the pitch. Archer in again, and the angle is slightly wrong. He's able to get inside that, and there's no run.
I think Archer's got Santana's number.
Well, he certainly hasn't at the moment. He's faced 89 balls.
All from Archer.
No, they're not all from Archer, but Archer's been, what is his 4th over on the trot, 5th over on the trot. He's not really trolled him that much. Only 2 balls left in this over. What is the time?
10 to 5.
Okay. So we margin over shortly after 5. That's defended by Santana from the crease, back down the track. There's no run. They came out on 144. Is that right?
144 for 4.
244 runs. We ought to check out the GPL too. Let's see what runs are on that. I think they're around about where we are today. 2 winners in 2 days. That'd be quite amazing. Archer is in on the back foot. Goes Santa, just defends it square, and there's no run. That'll do. Any more tweets?
Morg, look, if Reed isn't able to give them a stirring speech about Agincourt to fire the team up, then he should go now. And a Forsyth, New Zealand have broken England's spirit. They've certainly broken mine, and I haven't had to commentate on this through the night.
Yeah, I mean, we were warned, I've got to say, we were warned before this series started that there were a lot of 400 plus scores scored by New Zealand at home. The pitches generally tend to be as flat as pancakes. And it's quite an attritional game down there. I mean, I guess they could be different if they wanted them to be. I mean, I imagine if they changed the ball and made them green seamers, it's a very similar climate to England. It could be very different. Maybe they feel this is their best chance of winning, preparing this kind of pitch, and
Evil Scooter saying BJ Watling appears to have completely broken the guerrilla cricket commentary. Gosh, I love him so much, but I'm not silly enough to have actually watched a ball he's faced.
Well, I've been flying the flag for BJ Watling all day, and
I've seen him do this before.
Moaning's been going on about him, but I take the view this is a good game of cricket. And Watling deserves a lot of credit. I'm not particularly partisan.
Oh no,
I don't care.
I mean, he deserves an awful lot of credit.
I honestly don't care if England win or New Zealand win. I'm just watching the game, and I think Watling's played really well. If there was an England player in there, on 114 not out, we'd be saying how well he's playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, I think we've wanted to score. I mean,
No, I don't. I don't.
well,
he's
no.
played
I
well,
mean,
he
I mean, I think
defends well.
even Cookie. Yeah, well, he does, but I think even
Defends
Cookie
well,
would
and
score
I
quicker
haven't
than
had a
this.
problem with any of the action today, and I think to say it's broken the spirit of to say it's torpid or turgid, or I don't agree with any of that.
Oh, that's poor fielding. Who was that?
Joe Denley. That
Was it Joe Denley? I think, he has definitely broken the spirit of the England side. It was short, it was wide, broad.
Yeah, the England team spirit may be crushed, but it doesn't make it an unwatchable match.
No, it doesn't. No, I agree with you. I just think there has to be a little. I mean, that's why I like watching Test cricket in England. There's something in it for the bowlers. I think there's very little in it for the bowlers here. And you add in the kookaburra and the slowness of the ball. It makes the game a little bit one-sided. It's very difficult to take wickets.
But then Archer just bowled a booming in-swinger when he pitched it up.
Yeah, one.
Yeah.
He got an inside edge. Oh, that's leapt a little bit. I don't see that very often in the last couple of days, but it leapt.
Maybe they've
and
not
went
been
away
using the
from
right
Watley.
areas there, you know.
Well, they've bowled that length a lot, and most of them haven't done that, Dave. You know, it's. I mean, you saw that guy mashing the pitch with a mallet, and it didn't seem to be doing anything. There's not much. I mean, considering this is the end of day 3, there's not much marking on the main part of the pitch. I mean, there's obviously the footmarks and stuff, but everything else looks like it's day 1. You know? And it's the end of day 3. Doesn't seem to be any wear or tear in the wicket. It's defended by Watling from the crease out to covers, and there's no run. And yeah, I agree with you. You know, you can only do what's presented in front of you. But for me, Test cricket is more exciting when there's more in a wicket and the ball does something. You know, if you're a good batsman, you've got to be able to defend quality bowling that's doing something. And here, it's not really doing anything. It's not doing anything off the seam. It's not doing anything in the air. As that's punched off the back foot back up to mid-off, and there's no run. And hence, once you get your eye in, it's quite difficult to get people out. I mean, I was shocked that Kane Williamson got out yesterday. I mean, he did get one that did something, you know, jumped on him, but that's a rare occurrence. England's batsmen genuinely got themselves out. You know, 8 of the 10 batsmen you'd probably say got themselves out. You know, some pretty poor shots. I mean, that's not unusual for England. Driven into the ground, out to extra cover, and there's no run. I thought they were on the pitch, the 2 dogs that were fighting there, but they're not. They're obviously having some fun.
That backs up the 2-dog theory we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
2 dogs. Are 2 dogs... I'd like to ask the listeners, the Twitterati this. Are 2 dogs easier to look out after than 1 dog? Is it twice as much work?
Or half as much work.
That's what I'd
Broad
like to know.
in, off the back foot, nicely punched by Watling, but can't beat the man at cover. No run. Any more musings from Twitter sphere?
Staying with captaincy, Burns was captain of Surrey and led them to winning the county championship. He will be England captain at some point, but is it too soon?
During this test match, yes. I wouldn't change it during the game.
Key Wizard playing Australia in Perth's first day-night test from the 12th to the 16th of December, then Boxing Day test at MCG and the New Year's test at the SCG.
So they're playing 3 there, so I presume. So Pakistan only playing 2
there.
then.
Pakistan series or
No, that's the New Zealand series.
Oh, we were asking.
So
we need to
Pakistan
find out
only
what
playing
the
2 tests out there
Pakistan
then?
series is, yeah.
One from Jeff Perkins, once more into the Leech.
There's 2 dogs again.
Yeah. So a nice piss on a bush.
Yeah, because my wife would maintain that we've got 1 dog called Basil. She would say a second dog would be better for him and better for us. In less work. They keep themselves amused. As far as I'm concerned, it means inflicting 2 dogs on the neighbours. It means taking 2 dogs
for a walk. Yeah, but you got to take 1 dog for a walk. I mean,
2 dogs.
Yeah, feeding 2 dogs, that's more expensive. They're not going to earn their keep. They're not going to earn any money. That's one thing. They're not going to pay for their own food. But I don't know. Santa's facing up. He's pulled away. There's only 3 overs left in the day.
That's going to.
Stokes is going to continue. That's going to annoy him. Yeah, exactly. 2 for 36. Stokes of 14 overs.
Yeah, just 3 overs remaining. What a triumphant day for
New Zealand.
Watling and any fans of BJ Watling.
Well, they've only got a lead of 40. Stokes is in And Santana gets right behind that.
BJ is very much the poster boy for New Zealand wicketkeeper Test match wicketkeeper batsman.
Well, as we said,
of the long tradition dating back to people like the long tradition of New Zealand wicketkeeper batsmen.
Yes, like
Test match wicketkeeper batsman.
Brendan McCullum. Well, Brendan McCullum's nothing like bloody Watling. What are you on about? He ducks underneath that, it's no run. Brendan came in and gave it some humpty as soon as he came in.
Wes, help me out here.
He would never stick around. The other one I can think of is the guy who commentates for Sky. Ian Smith. He was a keeper, wasn't he?
Yes,
he was. Yeah.
Adam Perrault.
Adam Perrault.
Adam Perrault. There we go. That'll do.
I'm trying to think
that
about the Kiwi.
Where'd you get that one from?
Me?
Yeah.
He has good knowledge.
There you go.
That's Wes.
He
may be young.
Wes has got great knowledge, actually. You were able to tell me what that Santana had actually a much higher bowling average than his batting average. That was a very interesting stat from Wes earlier. That Santana in Test matches as a bowler and first-class cricket is averaging like over 40 in first-class cricket and late 30s in Test match cricket.
Defended back on the track, there's no run. Well, that's borne out by the fact that the last 100 wickets in New Zealand in Test matches taken by New Zealanders, none have been taken by a spinner. I don't think. This is that one's down a leg and there's no run. I mean, maybe that's how they prepare their pitches. They just think, well, we'll prepare these ones. We're playing at home. We know how it works.
What was the last?
They're a bit road-like, and our seamers will take the wickets.
Here's another one for you, Wes. The last home series, New Zealand versus Australia. How did the Australian bowlers do on this week?
I'm trying to think. When
might that have been? Bowling on this. I tell you, he would not have misdirected. So many balls have been misdirected today. There's been a lot of leg side rubbish. There's been a lot of stuff going way over their heads.
Interesting field.
Well, it is an interesting field. They've got two short legs. They've got a forward short leg and a short leg, and there's a full ball scooting down leg side by Stokes. And Fruit's kind of going, what are you bowling that for, man? I've got a short leg and a full, sitting mid on, and then you go and bowl a full ball down the leg side. That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
It's called funky field placings, I believe.
Funky.
Do you recognise that term, Wes?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, you like that term. Do you use it yourself?
2 overs left after this ball, and shit! That went past one of those short legs.
Should be a backward short leg.
I think
you can see the frustration on Ben Stokes' face. You've got two men in there for the catch, and that one just went behind the.
I don't think it went behind him. It was the thing. It went too close to him, didn't it? He couldn't react in time.
That was another miss from Pope. I don't think Pope should be in there. He's missed two now. And it just doesn't.
Well, it's not his. I think it's very.
He's just not got the aptitude.
Well, no, the one. Hold on. The one before fell short because he gave himself a little bit more time to try and catch it if it came off the face.
Are you telling me, Bear, that the reason why he's in there is anything other than the fact that he's the junior member of the team? There's no way that Surrey supporters bear me up on this. He's not a short leg specialist.
Well, that may be, but is there any short leg specialists in that side?
Well, there should be.
Well, no, of course there isn't. You don't fucking pick a test side. Just have a short leg.
Cameron Bancroft.
No, he's in there because he's a junior member of the fucking side, and he got caught with Sandpaper Gate, and he was serving his penance at short leg.
But he showed
and then he got dropped
aptitude. Are you going to tell me that Cap Bancroft wouldn't have snaffled one of those two?
He might well have done. He might well have done.
He never got a finger to it, so therefore you're saying it wasn't a chance. Because his reaction.
No, I'm not saying it wasn't a chance, but I'm saying they're difficult. You don't get a lot of chance.
Difficult. Test match cricket is difficult.
Yes, I know.
If it were easy,
well, look, Stokes dropped a fucking sitter at slip, for fuck's sake.
If it were easy, everyone would be doing it.
Yeah, well, of course.
That's why it's called Test cricket.
I know. I do understand that, Dave.
I'm trying to do a Jeffrey boycott. I should have done it in my boycott voice. It's Test cricket.
Yes, yeah, I need to do it Yorkshire accent. Last ball.
Difficult.
Off the back foot.
If it were easy,
out to cover,
everyone would be doing it.
Yes, of course. But, Jimmy Taylor, little wee Jimmy Taylor, caught those catches in South Africa, those absolute stunners when England beat them last time they were down there. And, of course, we've got South Africa coming up at Christmas. That's punched again out to root, no run. But he was set deeper. So you've got to decide what sort of shot you're trying to catch at short leg. Are you, if you're if you're bouncing and it comes off any, and you're 2, 3, 4 yards away from the bat and it comes off at any pace, you have very limited time to catch it. They either stick or they don't. You either get a palm on it or you don't. Broad is in, and it's defended easily by Watling. Out to mid on. Archer picks it up. Looks cool. Doesn't throw it in, and there's no run. Henry Nichols.
Yeah, just reviewing the wickets today. That seems a long time ago that Joe Root got Henry Nicol, and then we've only seen one wicket since then. Colin de Grandhomme,
which is a good catch, to be fair.
Oh, terrific catch!
That was a terrific catch, but Watling would have been out 60 runs ago. Would have been a whole different ball game.
How many wickets have been recalled after review? 2.
Well, they've had quite a few actually. Yeah, quite a few successful reviews. 2 today, I think. That one for Watling. Nicol reviewed one successfully earlier. It was a good catch by Sibley though. That'll make him feel good. Around the wicket, Broad. Oh, beats the outside edge of Santana.
As I say, get it in the right areas, Bear, and there's things in there is some life there.
Just a little.
Well,
but it's not going to happen every ball. I mean, you look at the surface. That surface of that pitch. There's no crack. There's no real wear. Even the footmarks aren't that really worn. I mean, it's a solid deck, man.
So you'd say the bowling's been of the highest quality today?
No, I don't think it's been of the highest quality. But in different conditions, I think you've probably got more wickets. Broad around a wicket again, full inside half of the bat away from pad. Santa pushing forward. It goes down to long leg. Ollie Pope is fielding, and he'll get himself a signal.
I mean, I take your point about the ball. I mean,
Kookaburra's a shit ball. It shouldn't be allowed in fucking international cricket.
There should be a standardisation. There should be a commitment at Test cricket level. If people are serious about, invigorating Test match cricket at all levels, the Test match championship, it should be using the same ball.
Yeah.
What other sports are they? John, which ball would you like to choose? The one that swings, or the one that doesn't?
Yeah. On the back foot, nice punch shot by Watling. Played out to cover. Did they go through? Yeah, they did go through for the signal in the end.
But I do think a standardisation at that level, at the end of the over, 3-9-3 for 6. I do think that standardisation should happen when you've got a Test match championship. Is it the home team that chooses the ball? It is, isn't it? But that's what makes sense to me.
It's the home association.
I mean, the West Indies chose the Duke's ball before the West Indies-England series in the Caribbean earlier on this year. Had a key impact on the series, made it a very entertaining and low-scoring.
Weirdly, it's got a double lacquer on it or something, isn't it, to protect it from the hardness of the wickets out there, and made it swing well into the sort of 60th over, which makes very interesting cricket. You've got to give the bowlers something. Because otherwise, if the pitch is going to be slow, but you give them a ball, at least they can do something. If you're going to have a slow pitch and a ball that does fuck all, then basically it's a batsman's game. It's like T20 when everything's taken away from the bowler. If your economy rate is 7 in T20, you're doing well. And it's just like, if you looked at that as a bowler playing any other sort of cricket, I'm getting hit for 7 and over and I'm doing okay. You'd be like, fucking hell, that's shit. I'd be, dragged off at the first opportunity.
Well,
it's dispiriting.
Wes, because do you think that the ball and the conditions, are playing a key role here?
Well, definitely. I mean, as we all know, the Kookaburra ball just doesn't swing as much as it do. And granted, this ball is into 60th over.
It's 60th over, but even when it was new, it wasn't swinging. That's left alone outside the off stump, and there's no run.
But even so, a Duke's ball, there might, with it still being 60 overs out, a Duke's ball might still have a little bit for the bowlers.
Yeah.
To work with, whereas the Kookaburra ball just doesn't.
No, and it also has a proud seam, doesn't it? I mean, you actually have something to work with as a seam. I mean, this is basically just stitched along the line of the two halves. Stokes in, bowls, punched nicely by Watling off the back foot, square out towards the boundary. They take one. They don't come back for the second. And New Zealand move on to 394 for 6, which is what England should have been doing yesterday, really.
Yeah, from the base that they had.
They should have been looking at 500, really. Something you've got to learn in the subcontinent. It's all about first innings runs, I think, down this way. And you've got to go large, much like it is in India, really.
I mean, Nasser Hussain yesterday, I think on Sky, was saying that he's back in the studio watching it off tube as we are. He was saying that no England batsman went on to score a century, not even never mind just a century, certainly not a big century or even a century at all. And
Stokes
was,
left alone out by Santana. You're having his bat away from it. There's no run.
And the people that can't be happy with 50, 60, 70s, that isn't going to win you a test.
No, it isn't. And we had 4 in the top 6 as well. Got to 50. No one went on. Stokes nearly got there, but he got himself out. Pope got himself out, and they were 2 in overnight. They were looking quite comfortable, but it all got a bit disjointed in the morning. For the first thing, they didn't settle into the rhythm of the game. Oh, that's popped. Not on the
wrong side of the pitch.
Wrong side of the pitch. Yeah.
There's enough in this pitch. I maintain that it's not as dead. There's another one there. Right, that's where he should be bowling. Right there. But I'm sorry, that's not a very helpful comment on radio to say that. It was only right there, but
it was short and in at the head. But there was no one at city mid off, and you wouldn't have a city mid off, would you? I mean, he's defended that quite well, really. He's defended it away from where the fielders are.
You've got 2 funky fielders on the leg side. Why not put a funky fielder on the offside?
Well, because you just don't. You don't expect to go there. You expect it to go there, and that's actually quite defended if you think about it. I mean, it's
suddenly
short.
There's a contest on a game, well-directed short balls, which is what happened when he first came in. If you remember, Wes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Help me out on this, Wes.
Santana, he's faced over 100 balls, and he's still not comfortable.
I mean, that's a good short ball, isn't it?
It is a good short ball.
This is what he was faced when he first came in, and I think England didn't take advantage of that.
It's Stokes again.
It's come off his
problems at the start.
Yeah, it's coming around the wicket into him. It's getting the right length. It's come off his glove and onto his helmet and dropped short on the leg side. Last ball, I think, of the day. I think that's the last ball of the day, and it's short. Well, this time it's misguided. It's gone down leg and easy get out of the way of it. It's gone through to the keeper, and that is the end of the day. Watling goes off with Santana. He's batted all day long. Gets a shake of the hand from Neech, and that is very well done. 31 overs, 78 runs, 1 wicket in that last session. And very well battered Watling, and Santa's done okay too.
Absolutely, and Colin de Grandhomme with his 65 earlier, that was a terrific effort as well. So BJ Watling ends the day 119 not out, so he was not out overnight, batted through the day, and he had 3 big partnerships, didn't he? Henry Nicol first of all got out for 41 LBW bowled route, then the big partnership with Colin de Grandhomme with 65, and then Santana's earned his call as well. He on 31 not out. The fact that he was so discombobulated by Stokes' short balls there. I maintain if the short balls have been slightly better directed and had been perhaps a bit more from Archer in terms of the booming in Yorkers, we didn't see a lot of those today. Too many misdirected bounces from England, I think. Too much leg side. Joss Butler's been jumping up and down like goalkeeper all day, and that means that those balls have been too high. They've been too short. They haven't been well directed, and I feel that the pitch is not as moribund as all that, and that there has been, if England bowlers had actually focused in on the right areas, I think that certainly Santana could have been gone by now, and I think the failure to bring on Archer or Root or Archer or Broad early in Santana's innings when he was looking so uncomfortable, the fact he's still there on 34 is a bit of a travesty, really. Shouldn't be there.
Well, he's not a bad bat either, let's be fair. I mean, he's I think that's probably, looking at the fact that they're only there's been no wickets by a spinner. And they put one in the side, but they expect their seam bowlers to take wickets, and they also want him to bat a bit. And he's not a bad ODI bat, and he certainly knows how to hit a ball, and he can get in behind it.
Well, he wasn't getting in behind the short one. He didn't like it up him.
No, he didn't like it up him.
And I think there was an opportunity for that. I mean, so just run through the bowling figures. You've got Ralph and Al waving goodbye to all Gorilla listeners as they disappear into the sunset for an early breakfast. Stuart Broad, 25 overs, no wicket for 45. Jofra Archer, 30 overs, none for 84. Sean Curran, 23 overs, 2 for 74. Leech, 37 overs, 1 for 97. Ben Stokes, 16 overs, 2 for 37. Joe Root, 10 overs, 1 for 31. New Zealand end of day 3-9, 4 for 6. That is a lead of 41 runs. They've still got 4 wickets remaining. Bear has taken the 7 to 5 or 13 to 8 that was available on the draw. 7 to 5, I think. You must be sitting pretty, Bear.
Yeah.
Feeling that it's odds on now for a draw, do you think? I wonder what the odds will be now on the draw. But strange things going to happen. It's still 2 days to go. And, England still will have a job to do in their second innings.
They will indeed,
Still an inexperienced lineup. And someone's going to have to bat long and bat deep if they are going
I mean, the thing is, they haven't got much of a lead, have they? They've got a 40-run lead, and there's 2 days left in the test. I mean, if England, let's say they've either got to bat, if New Zealand get to 500, which the way they're batting is going to take them till, halfway between lunch and tea tomorrow. And then stranger things have happened, it's fair enough to say, but the wicket doesn't look like a collapse is on, and they would only have a lead of 150. If England decide to sit and grind, then if they survive till the end of tomorrow and, say, lost 2 wickets, 3 wickets, they'd be pretty much at parity with a whole day left, 7 wickets in the bag, and the chances of New Zealand bowling us out and then getting any runs on the last day would be very slim.
So you think the chances of a New Zealand victory are slim?
I think the chances of either side winning is slim. That's why I think the draw is on. I think that's why the bookies have brought the draw in. I mean, it would. I think from here, the only team who probably can win in New Zealand, to be honest, because they're ahead now in the game. They don't have a lot back in the hutch. They've got some biffers. I mean, Neesham can. Santa can hit it. Soundly can hit it. Bolt's pretty shit. And who else have they got? There's got to be one more. Wagner. Oh, he can hit some as well. They come off. They might get some quick runs. Maybe they get another 60, but they don't have a 100 lead. I mean, it all depends on how England bat. If England are sensible, this game's done. And there's a lot of if and buts there because we've seen England bat like a bunch of twats a lot.
New Zealand record at home. 10
it's
out
pretty
of
good.
The last 12 series they've won.
Yes.
And
I imagine there's been a fair few draws there as well.
10 out of 12 series victories in out of 12.
Yeah, and
no drawn series.
No, New Zealand. Well, the funny thing is, New Zealand don't tend to play a lot of. I mean, I read an article about this a year or so ago, how they have a sort of format for how they do tours. It's maximum of 3 tests, usually just 2, 5 ODIs, and a few T20s, because that's how they maximise their income. Because they're a small nation, and it's just the way it works down there. So I imagine there's not a lot. There's been no 5 test series down in New Zealand for a long time.
2-0, India 1-0, Sri Lanka 2-0, twice 2-0. Lost to Australia 2-0, beat Pakistan 2-0, Bangladesh 2-0, lost to South Africa 1-0, beat West Indies 2-0, and beat England 1-0 last time they were there. So,
in a 2 test, a lot of these are 2 or 3 test series. So and they're not full length series. So it's, they win an awful lot of tests at home, but they should do home conditions. There's a lot of weak sides around. Anyway, that's it for the day for us. Do you want to line up the theme tune? I'm not in for the next 2 days, which is quite glorious. I've been for 3 in a day.
Who have we got in tomorrow then?
I don't know. Are you in tomorrow? Top one at the bottom. Top number 1. I don't know who is in tomorrow. I don't look at. I don't tend to.
I'm in tomorrow.
Oh, there you go. Wes is in tomorrow. I'm sure Hendo's back in tomorrow. Knackle's in tomorrow. I know that much. So there's a couple of people who are in, and I'm sure there's some more. But I won't be. I'm going to be partying my arse off down in Brighton.
Down in Brighton. Yeah, stay out of Brighton if you've got any sense, everyone.
I'm going to be living it large down there.
Yeah, indeed. But, well, thanks everyone for listening. We had a great response when we were asking where people were listening to us from. It's nice to know that just because we're struggling in the early hours, other people are in the
There's plenty of places in the world where it's daylight or morning or evening and it's not in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and, you know, thanks for listening to Guerrilla Cricket. We've saved you the trouble of listening to Nick Knight and Rob Keane, so that's got my word something.
See you later. Bye.
All the way back.
Patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come. This is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than red counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla